Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dugout podcast. I'm here with the boys. We've got Cal, Jackie, and Scouse as usual.
Let's go.
We've had a interesting week. No football last weekend because of the Queen's passing, so we're going to make do with what we can. We're going to talk about the Champions League fixtures that went about through the midweek. There was a few games last night as well we can chat about. We're also going to bring up the topic of the Super League and just discuss our thoughts, where it's going, and just bits and pieces about that. Also, there's some comments from Todd Boehly we want to discuss as well. But, yeah, how's everyone's week's been?
Yeah, it's been good, eh? Yeah. Good to go win the Champions League, so I'm always happy about that.
About time.
Go on, Cal.
No, just Liverpool winning, finally going ahead in the game. Done, lads.
To be fair, we won our game too. Felt good after losing the first in the Europa.
Big game against Sheriff, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they beat Real Madrid last year, mate.
Big trip to Moldova that way.
They didn't play at their usual home ground.
No, they played at a secondary venue. I didn't see the reason why. Probably because we're too massive and we sold it out too quick.
Should we start with the Liverpool and United results then? We'll kick off with Liverpool, obviously the more exciting competition, Champions League.
I mean, we don't really need to touch on United.
I would like to.
We beat a team called Sheriff with a penalty and a fucking Sanchez screamer.
No, we can touch on it, but go on. How did you boys think you fared in the game? Who was it you versus?
Ajax.
I think
2-1 was it?
yeah,
Yes, 2-1.
I think the whole midfield issue was a big point improver in that game, like having Thiago back and having that balance back in the midfield. Like
Absolutely.
Thiago is a fucking beautiful footballer, but just seeing how our team operates when we actually have an engine of a midfield that can do its job, like it's huge for us.
Yeah, I don't know what it's been in the midfield like in the past, but with Thiago sort of sitting there a little bit deeper next to Fabinho, he had a bit more solidarity. And when we tried to force something in the box, didn't work out, we had that cover immediately where we could just counter press and win it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like possession-wise and stuff like that, it's been how it has all season so far. We just haven't been able to mount the pressure that we usually do for as long as we do.
I was looking at our stats for this season, and we've been getting outrun every game.
Yeah.
So that's a big factor because Liverpool, especially Klopp's style of football, were known to be like running machines, outrun every single team, and that's one of the biggest reasons why our performance have been the way we are, because we just dropped that. We haven't been running as much. I think it was like 2Ks per player.
Being outrun.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's
like,
a lot.
we used to run over 13 Ks a game. Now we're running 11. Yeah. So I think if that Ajax game was to switch around with that when we had that midfield back in check. But it's just making sure the boys are up to doing the run and putting the press in again. Because I know we did have a big season last season. And that's probably why we had those effects at the start of this season. Just tired legs, tired minds. But hopefully now we've had a bit of a turnaround with it. But I want to shout out to Jota. He came back from injury. I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
He offers something up there that I like. It's exciting. And also Matip, very underrated defender. I fucking love him. So Matip, stay in the side, brother. I know you're watching.
I mean,
Go on.
Salah scored another goal. Seems that Nunez drops out of that team and immediately Salah finds his bollocks again. Is that a change of system particularly, or is it just taking up the space that Nunez isn't type deal?
Yeah, probably.
Did Nunez?
Jota-
I thought Nunez played.
It came
Off the bench.
Yeah, okay.
Jota's movements is different,
Definitely.
and the players around just react to that. I know when Nunez is up there, Salah and Diaz are really wide, but when Jota or Bobby's up there, you'll see Bobby drop in, and then either Diaz or Salah take up a central role.
Yeah, and I think if Klopp has to see now, you can't just spread Diaz and Salah. I think that might be a big reason in terms of our press as well, because we might be too spread apart, too wide.
Yeah.
So we come back to be more compact, even though we got a number 9 up front. I reckon we should still play the way we play. It's just getting that link in with Nunez and the other boys. But yeah, I think Salah still has to play like that inverted winger. He's still got to come in and do like what he always does, because when he does that, he just scores goals for fun. Yeah. So I think if we just stick to that type of gameplay, no matter whether Nunez is playing or not, I think we will keep getting results from here on out.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting you mentioned the press there, because I remember a few times Salah, like as we're pressing, Salah would press right over to the left wing.
yeah.
That's it.
So do you think it's Nunez not adapting to the system quickly, or is it Klopp trying to change the system for Nunez, do you think?
Oh, it's both.
Oh, I actually think it's Nunez not adapting as well.
Yeah. So you think Klopp wants to play same way, but with Nunez at the forefront, but Nunez just hasn't got the grasp of it just yet? Which is, there's no shame in that. He's only just come to the club.
Yeah. I think there would be some sort of tweaks of the system, but not massive overhaul.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's both, because Salah's pushed all the way so wide that it makes it so hard for him to get involved in the game. Yeah. I do think that has been detrimental to our lack of goals this season, besides that flog into Bournemouth. But
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, so I think that's been our lack of goals, because we're pushing our forwards too wide. Then our midfield is not working at all. So like that final third of the pitch just feels very isolated because there's too much space. So I feel like when Salah is in more with Diaz and we have that midfield, we're a lot more compact and we can put that press on. But I feel like, yeah, when just even pushing Salah like 2 meters wider, I think it can just throw a lot of things out of balance, because it just creates more gaps in between.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think it's Klopp asking the team to do that. I just think it's the players reacting off what Nunez is doing at the moment.
I don't know, because I don't think Klopp would accept the players playing a completely different style for the first time in ages, just reacting to a player and not getting into him about it and being like, look, no, come in, this is how we play, this is what we do, you got to run off these channels, why are you pushing too far?
Why do you think he is, like if it is Klopp, like you're saying, if Klopp is sort of implementing that to work around Nunez, what's the end goal there? Like with Salah and Diaz pushing wider, is he just hoping to have Nunez as just a focal point in the box, just everything goes through him? Or I don't understand really, because I feel like the big thing as well is if you push your wingers wider, you shut down the overlap of the wing backs, which for you guys, for Liverpool, your fullbacks are your primary source of delivery, generally. And if your wingers are wider, it just means that they can't get as forward, I think.
Yeah.
Which could be a big reason as to why you aren't flowing so much. But
I agree. And also with Elliott in the right side and the midfield too, I think the reason Salah does push out, not just for Nunez, but it gives Elliott that space to come in and do some work as well.
Yeah.
Because our midfield has always just been like a typical Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho, just free workhorses. But now we're getting a bit more technicability, if that's how you pronounce it, in the midfield. So I feel like he's trying to make room for that. Yeah. But I think he's still trying to understand the flow of the players and how they fit in the system. But I feel like against Ajax, he got it right. But I do believe like Thiago's a massive difference in that team.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's fair.
He runs everything for us.
Yeah, that's all I really have about Liverpool.
Quick shout out to Mohamed Kudus, because that was one hell of a finish.
That was a good goal.
Absolute thunderstrike. He's fell on hard times since moving to Ajax. Hasn't really found his form, but
he looks like he's hit the ground running a bit this season. But under new management,
coming back in and getting that shot.
To be fair to Ajax, Liverpool, even in a bad spell, Liverpool are no easy feat, and they smashed Rangers 4-0 last week. You know, I think that they've won every single game in the Eredivisie, which, say what you will about it, but they've hit the ground running with a brand new manager.
And they've lost 6 first team players.
A massive reshuffle for them, and they're doing really well, I think.
Because Neres left too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he go to
Benfica?
Benfica.
Yeah. He went to Shakhtar, I think, just before the Ukraine war started, and then he got his move from Shakhtar to Benfica.
Yeah, so right, Neres.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Neres, he scored in a 2-1 win for Benfica against Juventus.
Huge point.
That's a huge
Benfica.
I don't think we've mentioned it. I think I've said it to you boys off the podcast. Allegri at Juventus this season
You've said to me,
has been fucking terrible. Juventus have not started their, I think Serie A, they're outside the top 4 currently.
yeah,
They are woeful.
Juventus just aren't the side they used to be. I think it's hard to categorize them as like a giant still, similar to what goes on with United, but you know they're just not at that level of like the big boys now. You know, in my opinion.
Oh,
No one in that team for me like jumps out and be like, fuck, that's a good side.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
They set up in that 3-5-2, and they bought in Kostic this window. They bought in Paredes, Milik, Bremer, but they still like
They're
playing,
all good signings, but
Yeah.
they're all good, mid sort of tier signings.
It's very, very bizarre, and I mean, it's weird that they bought in Milik when they've got Vlahovic, who is a big target man centre forward. He's far more agile,
And they've
far more
spent a
technically
lot
better.
of money on him
They
too.
also signed Paredes, Angel Di Maria, Paul
Di Maria.
Pogba.
Di Maria, I don't think played this
Pogba's,
game.
in
Oh,
some.
did- come on,
He's got
Well,
some sort of
Pogba did an
difficulties.
ACL, and then he's got
Holy
hectic personal stuff going
Yeah,
on.
there's some shit going on with it.
So I think he misses the whole of this season. Actually, I think he transferred
Yeah.
and misses the whole of the season.
which is a big loss for him. But you know, Di Maria's a massive. He's looked good. To be fair, he's
Di
been
Maria is
their
a
shining
shining
light,
light, yeah.
but they're just not that good.
No,
They're really not that good.
they've also lost Delit, Alpha, Zachariah, Dybala, Federico Benedeschi, Douglas Costa, Cellini.
They've definitely they've had
Chiesa.
to change their system pretty.
Did they lose
intensely.
Chiesa?
Yeah, he's on loan, wasn't he?
He's injured, I think.
Yeah, I think they've still got Chiesa.
Yeah, he did his. I think he did MCL, ACL, one of the something horrendous in his knee.
This says he's on loan from Fiorentina.
No, he loaned in to Fiorentina.
Oh, okay.
I think, or they signed him and loaned him to Fiorentina,
Yeah,
something like that. That might be like a couple of years ago. But
Yeah, it's just very. But shout out to Benfica because their team is. I mean, it's a classic Benfica team. It's full of random young.
They still got
talents.
Rafa.
Rafa. eh?
yeah,
Oh, no, Rafa.
Rafa.
I
That's
just-
his name.
I
Yeah,
just
he's-
packed a
I think
con
he
FIFA.
scored last week. Rafa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rafa Silva. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But yeah. Well, they've got players like João Mario, Otamendi in there. Obviously, Grimaldo still at left back. Lacodamus in goal. But David Neres and João Mario, I think João Mario scored from the penalty spot. It was a penalty and then a David Neres quality finish. But yeah, very confusing for Juventus. With the team, I mean, regardless of the mid-tier signings, the team they have, the manager they have, the support they've got, it's weird to see them in the decline that it looks like it is.
I can't see it lasting long. That's what I will say about it. I think one positive thing for this, but is the Serie A has come to light. I think you look at AC Milan and Inter Milan, and they're both skyrocketing. Napoli as
Roma.
well, Roma under Mourinho. They're all sort of flowering a bit and just coming up big. So it is good to see because for years it was Juve just every single season would win the Serie A and just dominate, and it would be no competition.
Yeah, but the thing now... Oh, sorry, keep going.
I was just going to say, so it's good to see the other big boys from the Serie A
Yeah.
come up.
It's good to see the competition, but my concern with Serie A is that I can't see like any big players going there in the future, like to that league.
I think it's the opposite. I think we're seeing more of it. Like you're seeing Tammy Abraham and that decide, fuck Chelsea, they're not going to respect me. A lot of the English players are starting to go there,
Yeah,
which
I'm-
is crazy because English players don't often
Yeah.
play outside
Different
England.
type of football there as
It
well.
is, yeah.
Like I know, I see what you're saying, but
I mean, like some top level players,
Yeah.
like Tammy's like
like
promising,
when
but
Ronaldo went.
like a Mane when he left or anyone
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, I guess it just comes with their wage structure too. How they,
Yeah.
if they're willing to pay those big numbers
That-
for those types of players.
Because didn't Juventus not long ago, it was probably a while ago now, but they got demoted back down to the second league because of some situations, because of money.
That was a Del Piero.
Del Piero
times,
one, yeah.
Where they went all the way back down to Serie B and then had to come all the way
They
back.
probably learned from that.
Yeah.
And back in those days, but the Serie A was the league. Everyone wanted to play in the Serie A, like in Europe.
Growing up, I was always wearing Inter Milan kits.
Yeah,
I loved.
I frothed it. I used to wake up and watch Serie A before school and stuff because they had the games with better times. But yeah, I think it's good to see that the league's definitely growing.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably progressing more than any other league. I think it's hard for every other league at the moment because the Premier League's so wealthy. No one, like you said, the superstars, pretty much every superstar from here on out is going to come to the Prem. Yeah. Because the money is just outrageously more in the Prem. But they're doing really well. They've got some really massive players there. And they're bringing up some big youngsters too.
Yes.
Rafael Leao.
Rafael was saying Leo.
He is a joke. He's moving to the Prem in the next season, I think.
Oh no, he's signing a new contract.
I'm telling you,
Trying
mate.
to lock him down.
I'm telling you, he's come to the Prem in the next season.
Where's he going? You reckon? You know?
No, I can see Chelsea buying
Well,
him.
Chelsea had a verbal bid for him last window, and Milan were like, "No, go fuck yourselves."
He'll come.
Game's awesome.
He suits the Prem so well.
He's taken a long time to get as good as he is, though. They signed him, I think, 2 or 3 seasons ago, and he was kind of just scoring enough goals to keep him in the team.
Yeah,
But since
he's so young, but like
Poli's come into that team, Simeone Poli, and pushed him out wide, he's been marvellous.
Yeah.
That whole Milan team. I guess since we're talking about him, we'll talk about their result. They did a 3-1 on Zagreb.
yeah,
They did what
Chelsea
couldn't. But again, they looked fucking brilliant. And, you know, it's a big part of what they've done is bringing in players like Ibra and Giroud because they had such a young team. They've brought in these elite winning mentalities.
yeah.
And they've turned these players into absolute savages. Sandro Tonali,
He's
the talent that we all knew he had is on full display.
yeah,
You can go through that. Fikayo Tomori, oh my God.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you suck.
yeah.
Chelsea sucked the
What
most
do you
for
think
letting
of
him go.
Chelsea? And
Like-
that was cheap too. They let him go for
Like 13,
peanuts.
yeah.
something ridiculous like that. No
Ridiculous.
buyback, nothing. Idiots. Chelsea, you're idiots. Like, shout out Milan.
Yeah,
The thing with
Love
Milan
those.
in that game there is, let's see how they go at Zagreb,
yeah.
because that's where they.
Was that at the San Siro? Was it at home for Milan?
Yeah. It was at San Siro.
So we since we discussed Chelsea before, should we discuss Graham Potter's first game in charge?
First game in charge against Red Bull Salzburg at home at Stamford Bridge.
Stanford, yeah.
Segue.
Have a look at this lineup, because I'm pretty sure Sterling played as a wing back. He did.
Yes, he did. He played a 3-5-2, so he's
Still
kept
scored.
the
He
kept
still
the
scored, yeah.
tactics of Tuchel, which was obviously going to happen. You can't just come in and throw a new system at players.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got
3-5-2,
Cucurella.
did he?
It looks like it.
Mine's like a 4-2-3-1.
Okay.
I mean, it looks fluent because you've got Reece James. Aspil can play centre back.
Yeah. Cucurella is brought in to do that role that he wanted to do. Do you want to see mine, mate?
They had good possession, 72.
What app's that?
Let's just Google.
Who's the third centre back?
Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta and Cucurella.
Okay.
Cucurella. Yeah. I mean, it's good. And to see Mason Mount progressing into those more dominant areas as well. Obviously, they didn't get the result they wanted, but
Yeah, especially for Chelsea too, because the bottom of the table in the group, so they're gonna have to start winning, get some games, get some points, because their next 2 games is AC Milan back to back.
yeah,
That's tough.
statistically though, this game Chelsea absolutely battered, like 17 shots to 4, 73% possession.
Yeah, but they did that. They did that against Zagreb too. They dominated that game, and they just didn't, in the end, get it. But to me, it's going to take time.
Yeah,
You
most
think
certainly.
about. I don't think they're going to get a new manager bounce. To me, like you think about the level of manager Tuchel is to
Yeah.
Potter.
Yeah.
If they're not going to listen to Tuchel, these players, and sort of get the best out of them, what makes you think Potter's going to do it? Potter's a bright manager.
Well, Tuchel has an ego,
Yeah.
so he's probably thinking, well, I can only imagine what might go on in the change room, but Tuchel probably won't take no for an answer. Like he'll just say like, "Fucking do it this way" or whatever. I feel like Graham Potter might be more of like, "Let's have a cuddle."
Yeah, I do agree. But I think my thing is I think Potter will take time. I think Potter will
Yeah,
get
certainly.
success,
Yeah.
but it won't be quick.
He's not an
Not
immediate
quick.
he's not an immediate success type of manager like a
Yeah.
Conte or like a Mourinho to some extent.
I think he'll change a lot of players too, Potter.
Yeah,
a
most
lot of those players won't suit what Potter will want.
Most certainly.
Chelsea have to be patient with Potter too.
Yeah.
They can't just fucking 6 months. He's not at the position they're at.
I've been
It'll take
listening
year,
to a lot of
year and a half
stuff
before he gets.
about the Tuchel fallout, and it seems like it's more so the fact that Boehly and Tuchel weren't
Yeah.
Yeah, they
very
weren't on
friendly.
the same.
like. Well, obviously the 4-4-3 thing.
Yeah,
That have you seen that going around?
yeah.
Where Boehly said we
Fucking
should play a
hell.
4-4-3, and Tuchel kind of sneered at him. But like, it sounds like a lot of their communication was that, like Boehly being like, "Oh,
Let's do
we
that.
should do this,"
Yeah,
and Tuchel being like, "Why would we do this?"
yeah.
Like, bro, I'm the manager. Like,
Yeah.
hard to listen to.
If you're watching this and you
You
don't
get your
understand,
coaching badges, Bowley cunt.
if you're watching this and you don't understand why 4-4-3 is funny, it's because there's too many players.
Yeah, it's not a formation.
too
That
many.
you can actually play in football.
But yeah, like obviously we'll get on a bit later to some of Boehly's other comments this week. It
Well,
seems
do we
like
think Chelsea are making it out the group?
Yes,
I think so. I think the teams they've got, Zagreb and Salzburg, should be another 6 points, and I mean they've already got one, so.
I think they're lucky. If there was a third team in that group that was half decent, like I think Salzburg and Zagreb are definitely down the bottom of the teams in the Champions League. I think if there was like a third team, like a Seville or something like that, who were decent, they wouldn't make it out. But I think they're
The
quite
thing
lucky.
is, they versed the 2 worst teams first, got 1 point from 2. Now they got AC back to back.
Yeah.
That's the only challenge I find.
I think they might get points from AC, to be honest, because it's a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the players might step up rather than being starting in first gear. They might be starting in third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. What's our
Moving on.
They might stall.
Sporting versus Tottenham. I want to just touch on it briefly. A 2-0 loss for Conte's men away to Lisbon, and both goals coming at 90 minutes or later for Sporting. 90 and the 93rd.
Paulino.
Stats wise, again, very even game. Sporting had them on. It's so early. Sporting had them on possession. It's a very bizarre fixture. Very, very bizarre fixture. I obviously thought this was just going to be a straight Tottenham,
demolition job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Hats off.
Did Alfred Gomez come on to take a penalty, or
No, he's a young winger. He did like a little mazy run and scored.
he came on 92nd, scored 93rd?
Yeah, he just did like a mazy run and
What a
did
guy.
like 3 players
And
and scored.
Spurs didn't start a weak team. They started their
Yeah, they-
full strength. Richarlison, Son, Kane, Perisic, Bentancur, Højbjerg.
I look at Tottenham's team. That's a good team. I see their defense. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, Davies, Dyer, and Romero. Mental that Eric
They're
Dyer still
loving
gets
that
a game.
Romero.
One player I want to talk about, Marcus Edwards.
Ex-Spurs man.
Yeah.
And he
What
fucking
a
tore
player
them
he
apart.
is, man. What a player. He is a very, very good player. He's exciting.
I love when little English players decide like to go and get their chance somewhere
Yeah.
like Portugal, like Angel Gomez decided.
Like Eric Dyer.
Yeah. Obviously the Eric Dyer derby.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go and get this experience elsewhere in a team where they know they're going to be good enough to get into and they get to just show their full colours, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Getting that confidence on your sleeve is a massive thing at that age.
that's
Like,
what every young player should do. Instead of just sitting on the bench until you're 25 and then eventually getting game time.
yeah.
Just go out and get after it, because then you'll probably even get that big team move when you're 22, when you're younger.
Yeah.
And you already got the confidence, you got the experience, especially experience playing in like Champions League, starting, things like
Yeah.
that as well. Like stuff that you can't buy.
Against your old team too, to absolutely
Yeah.
tear them to shreds on a personal level. That must
Yeah.
feel so good.
There was one mazy run he did where he almost scored. I think he fucking skinned about 4 Spurs players, and he was just all himself, no one else. Like he just, and then fucking on the 6-yard box, right foot shot. I think the keeper just saves it. I was like, yeah, but I remember watching the highlights of the game before. I think not Ben Frickett. I can't remember who they versed in the game before, but
Frankfurt? Well, it'd be one of those two.
Frankfurt. Yeah, Frankfurt, I think.
Yeah,
but
Frankfurt,
yeah, I watched the highlights in that, and he was the standout again. So, hats off to him.
Credit to him.
I think it's good. I was going to say, I think it's good for English players to get out of England too.
Yeah, I agree.
You see loan moves
100%.
and stuff of players going to the championship where they're just drilled into a system, which I think is good for some types of players. But when you see like a young, exciting winger or a young, exciting cam or something like that, or a good striker getting out,
Like a Temi.
getting out and like playing a different type of football.
Yeah, a more free flowing, less physically intensive, bit more technical.
Because how many players from the championship do we see break it out into the Premier League? Like you drilled into a system, you taught how to play, you drilled out of like, you know, how to sort of like have that flair and stuff like that. Like I feel like the championship is more sort of.
I feel like it's
I know what you
slowly
mean.
shifting
Yeah.
though, because you look at players coming up recently, like the Brentford team, basically, like
Yeah, but
De
they're
Silvas
not
and
really
Vissers and
championship players, are they? They've all been signed outside of England. Like
yeah,
look at
but
Brentford's side.
they've come in and done championship seasons, you know. Or look at like
Yeah.
Eze. Eze was a big one for me, come
Yeah.
from the championship after that time. Some of the Bournemouth players that have been there 3-4 seasons before coming back up.
Yeah,
Like it's starting to. There's definitely like a very even Fulham to an extent. Now I think about it, that Fulham team, like compared to last time they came up, much more like flowy football
Yeah.
rather than Route 1
That's
4-4-2 basic bullshit. It's going to take time because not the shit teams, the lower teams still have to play that type of football to get a result.
yeah,
Whereas the higher you get, the more you can start to play more
Vary.
expansive
Yeah,
football.
but I feel like as a young player, if you go to a team like Sporting and go to Portugal, you have like more opportunity to express your own football
Yeah.
and your style as well and showcase that.
Definitely, and the fans fucking love you for it.
Yeah.
May's a little wizard. Is there any more big games we want to talk about? Shall I just touch on all the results briefly?
Yeah, I just want to
Bayern,
say
Barca.
fucking Haaland's goal was nuts against Dortmund.
Oh yeah, that was.
Fucking jumps like 20 meters in the air.
Just outside of the foot, correct.
It overshadows John Stone's unreal goal. To
John
be
Stones,
fair. What a cracker
what
that
a
is!
boy! What a boy!
But I think we discussed as well before the potty, but Jude Bellingham with probably man of the match performance in that game.
Please come to Liverpool.
But yeah, very very big
He's definitely
in a game where you just sit in and soak up the pressure for him to be one of the man of the match. Like
at 19 years of age. He is a joke.
yeah,
He is.
19 years
Yeah,
old,
19.
like he's just mental, and he's so composed after the game in his interviews and stuff. Like
He's got about 10 years till his prime.
yeah.
11 years. Which is nuts.
Insane, so good. I think I mean, he was already on with the radar of every single big club since he was at Birmingham.
yeah.
But like that's an open
Yeah, he's-
audition to anyone. Like, you got 100 mil, I'm here and I'm waiting.
I think this season's really pushing him into like superstardom level, like
Yeah.
into those big Real Madrids, Barcelonas, like the top Prem teams.
It would
Everyone's
be
after him
mental
now.
to see him still at Dortmund next season.
Yeah.
It would be
I reckon he'll
insane.
definitely come to England. I can't see him going to like a Bayern or a Barca. I think he'll definitely
Hard
come
that
to
when
England.
those teams come
Yeah,
cool and
if Real Madrid, you just said Madrid then, I wasn't even thinking about that. If they get him, their midfield is so
Chouamini, Camavinga, Bellingham,
Valverde.
Valverde, he's a joke.
We need
too.
to touch on him if we're talking about Champions League.
Is
My
Bellingham
God.
a Brummie?
Yeah.
He is.
Birmingham.
Oh, come to Liverpool then, mate. It's just down the road. Been there, your family.
God. Yeah, I just want to touch on Valverde now I mentioned him. He's fucking unreal.
See his celebration.
Yeah, he's so
Love it.
unreal. Apparently, Ancelotti told him to start the season, if you don't get 10 goals, I'm ripping up my coaching ability. 'Cause like, you're so good.
He's different grade. Yeah, he's fucking unreal. Just such a raw player. Like he's so.
Some of the goals he's already scored this season, like there's photos of him in his own half starting off runs before he puts it in the back of the net, and it's not the first time he's done it this season.
And the thing with Madrid too, like looking at that midfield for so long, being Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro, like it looks like kind of like an unreplaceable midfield. But fuck, they've done some good business to bring some other boys in.
The talent they brought in is insane, and the fact that they're mixing the two, like obviously letting Casemiro go first rather than letting all three go in 2 seasons, like
And Modric still doing.
Modric's still
bits.
performing.
He
That's
is fucking unreal.
He's still top notch for sure. He's 37 now too, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He's up there. Yeah. Well, hats off to Real Madrid because
Yeah, honestly.
they're
done well.
doing really well to like phase out of that.
Yeah.
Even like defense, like lose Ramos and bring in Rudiger.
Yeah.
Just things like that.
Alaba.
Adam Militao.
Yeah, Adam
finally
Militao.
coming good.
Courtois now
Mendy.
finally found his form.
Yeah. Do they have a right back replacement for Carvajal? I don't think they do they?
I don't think so because I think they sold Odriozola.
Yeah.
It's probably next.
Yeah, that'll be the
there'll be
next one.
someone. There'll be some young Spanish talent we don't even know about. Well, Pedro Porro from Sporting.
What about him?
He's a little Spanish wizard. I can see.
I think he's
snapping
City's
him
player,
up.
isn't he?
No, they bought him permanently this season.
Did they? Yeah, okay. Could be one.
Yeah.
Also, for Real Madrid, Rodrigo and, Vinny had a really good year last year, but Rodrigo and Vinny starting this season very, very well. Looking like what they paid for.
Well, even Eden Hazard.
He scored one goal.
No, but even that first Champions League game, he orchestrated all three.
Yeah.
Even in the league this year, he's coming on and he's actually having an impact.
Yeah.
Not just jogging around with his big ass poking out.
Coming out from the shadows.
Yeah.
Fucking pigeon.
Big ass.
But yeah, let's just touch on all the other results. So we've got Inter 2-0 against Victoria Plzen. Bayern 2-0 against Barca.
That was a big game too.
Big game. Club Brugge 4-0 against Porto. Huge result for them. Yeah. Marseille and Frankfurt 1-0 for Frankfurt. The Marseille fans running through the stadium afterwards with bandanas and machetes and flares.
Did they?
Yeah, Marseille are mental.
That was
Mental. Leverkusen with a 2-0 upset on Atletico. Shakhtar and Celtic a 1-1. Napoli a 3-0 demolishing of Rangers. Madrid 2-0 Leipzig. Copenhagen and Seville 2-0 draw. Maccabi and PSG. Maccabi gave them a little scare, little 1-0 lead, and then PSG turned it on. And finally Dortmund 2-1. City 2-1 against Dortmund. Sorry.
All three of the big stars of PSG scoring. Mbappe, Neymar, Messi.
It is crazy to see Messi come into his own under a new manager. Just actually doing bits for that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's flourishing again.
I mean, it's the
They all seem to be, but they all seem to
Yeah.
be gelling really well this season. In pretty much all their games, they're all getting goals.
Mbappe just needs to get out of his own head and fucking just play.
yeah,
He's good. He's still playing well.
Yeah, well, he's
That's
just
the thing.
fucking being a bit of a knob, isn't he?
yeah, he is.
Is he?
good enough.
Yeah, like he just thinks he's the best thing
He is a
since
bit.
sliced
He's
bread.
the best played player in the world, but the only player that really have any say in a club.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but
I would
like-
think I'm the best player in the world too.
Yeah, but it's just play,
I think
play
a lot
footy.
of it's media orientated, but
So
like
do I. I reckon that mentality is one of the best things you can have as a footballer.
I think so.
That's
Like,
what pushes.
I don't
That's
like
like people say Ronaldo. That's why they
Yeah.
hate him. But that's why he's
That's why he is.
one of the best ever
I
because
agree.
of that mentality.
I agree
I
100%.
think you need that, eh?
Yeah.
If you don't have that mentality, you're going to be too humble, too nice. And you're not going to reach your peak performance
Think
as you
about-
would.
Still young though, like
Yeah, having that
Do your
mentality
due.
at 22, that's crazy.
Ronaldo had that mentality from like fucking 17, 18
Well,
maybe.
who's Mbappe's favourite player?
Me.
No, I do think, but with the Mbappe thing, like it hasn't just been given to him. He's earned that.
Yeah,
like he's gone to a PSG team with Neymar, with Messi, and absolutely outshone them, both of them. Yeah. You know, it's not like it's been gifted to him. He is the best player in that PSG team by a long way.
And if I had Mbappe in my team, I'd want him to have that mentality.
Yeah.
Like, you're the best. Fucking get after it.
I like it. I rate it.
All right, so let's move from the glitz and glamour of Europe to the
Hang on, there's one other Europa League game we haven't touched.
fucking. Let's.
Nice.
I
So
know,
about
but-
Sheriff.
I don't even want to fucking talk.
Watch
about it.
a win.
Glory,
So
glory. No.
just quickly, United getting up 2-0 for first Europa League points.
Another Sancho.
We went back to our full strength side, which was good to see.
Basically, we took out Harry Maguire and we won. Shock horror.
He's injured now, isn't he? Apparently he's injured for like 2 months or something.
Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Let me confirm. It was a
Yeah,
Sports Bible article, so you never know.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Christian Eriksen in this game made a match performance, was it?
he was
Christian Eriksen.
He's
is-
good. He's man of the match like every single
Every
game for
week.
us.
He is proving more and more that
I
he's
want to
the best
say
signing.
I'm gonna say hats off to Scott McTominay because since we bought Casemiro, he has been Unreal.
Doesn't want to
Very
lose his
good.
spot.
Yeah.
He's pulling a Luke Shaw last
he
year
is.
when we bought in Tellez, and he turned into Shawberto Carlos.
Yeah. Can I say again as well, Ronaldo, fucking probably one of the worst players on the pitch.
Yeah.
He was shocking again, which is, I mean, he got a goal, he scored a penalty, but he's apart from that, his touch was bad, his off the ball work was terrible. Coming to feet, he was coming so deep. Did you watch the game?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's why you don't want to touch on it then. But
Well, no, because the reason why I didn't is because I was at work.
Do you reckon
but
he's
also-
doing that? Or he's getting told to do it.
he's doing that because no one else, like, he did it all last season too, but just in this game he was doing it.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing it straight away. Last season it would take, minutes. It would take probably like 45 to 50 minutes before he would start doing it. Like, he would get frustrated in the game and he'd come super deep to get on the ball, which just, because he doesn't do it. He's not like what Rooney used to do, where he'd come super deep, get it, spray it, ping
he's
a
looking
crossfield
at run
ball and
past,
then get
man.
back in the box. He just comes, gets it to feet, little tap, and then turns around and walks back to striker. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing that for? Like, there's no point at all.
Yeah, make a run, spread plays.
Yeah, and he's not quick enough to get back in the box
Yeah.
nowadays either.
I
Like,
think that's a big thing. Is his game's not adjusting. Like, his legs are genuinely going.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have that. He's still explosive, but he can't maintain that pace over 50, 60 meters anymore. He's got it's slow, and you see it almost every game. It's dropping back in his explosive pace.
100%
When it drops deep, is there someone like Bruno Fernandes getting
occupies
forward?
the space. No, not really, because I don't know the way he does it. Like, Bruno does run into those areas, but the way he does it, like, he doesn't really take anyone.
Yeah, it's just getting.
He just crowds space. Like, he just goes to where we've got a ball and just says, "Give it to me." Like, he'll be like 3 or 4 yards away from the person with the ball. And he'd be like, "Yes." He gets it, plays it straight back to him, and turns around. It's just like, why have you done that?
It works best when we've got Rashi on the pitch, because Sancho and Anthony don't like to make that run in behind. They also want to come feet for the ball and then make that run. Whereas when Rashi's out wide, he's always looking in behind. So Ronaldo drops, and all that space is there for Rashi to just get through and score goals. But obviously,
I just don't like the way he does it. Like, there's no intent in the way he does it.
Defenders probably know as well. Like, if he's dropping deep, he's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
He's just going to play it back.
Yeah, there's no progression with what he does. With it.
Maybe
if he was taking the ball and running at players, but he doesn't really do that anymore. It's kind of
Yeah, he doesn't really. I find it hard to see what he offers now. Like, I know it's harsh. Like, he's unreal player. He's one of the best to ever play. But realistically, what does he offer in that team?
mentality in the dressing room.
No, because he's been toxic in many people's views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not really like he doesn't get on with Ten Hag, obviously. Doesn't like being dropped. So he's not going to be a good head in the dressing room, is he?
What about, it was only like 5 games ago. All United fans are loving Ronaldo because he was the only person making an effort coming on the pitch.
I think that's changed with the new manager.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Ranić left and we have a manager who's like, look, you fucking idiots, this is how we're playing football. I don't care. Like, all the bullshit you've done under the last 2 guys, that ends today. Play it my way. And you can see, and the new heads he's brought in, the Malassias, the Martinezes, the Ericssons, they play for him, and that mentality is flooded through the team. You look at Varane, you look at Delo, I mean, even Scott McTominay to some degree. Their heads have switched on. Yeah. So, it wasn't a fact of Ronaldo's dropped his, because I don't think when he gets on the field, he hasn't dropped his head. He just can't do the same things he used to do.
Yeah.
It's just, it's literally it. He just can't do it anymore.
I don't think he's dropped his head. I just think, to me, it's what does he bring? And for me, it's not enough. The only thing watching him play, the only thing I think he brings is aerial threat in the box. But for the fact of what I just talked about, how he drops deep, and he's not
there enough.
He's never in the box.
Yeah.
Like, we get the ball to our wing backs. Like, Delo can whip a ball in, or Jadon Sancho from the left can do it.
Even Bruno drops into those areas to whip those balls in.
He's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's always trying to get on the ball super deep. It's like, the only thing you offer really is aerial threat. So don't fucking drop deep, please.
Yeah.
Just sit in the box.
Was it this game? I don't know actually, but Delo, he made that tackle, sort of deep in your box, and the goal kick, and he got up and he's like puffing his chest and things like that.
I think that might have been the game before, but he does it. He does it.
Oh, it was
almost
Leicester.
every
It was
game.
Leicester.
Yeah.
He does.
He's a psycho.
Do you like that?
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah. I love shit-ass tactics like that. I love Anthony slapping the badge. I love Dallo going fucking mental because that's what I do when I
Martinez.
play football. Like, I'm a full lunatic.
Yeah, Martinez as well does it a lot.
Yeah.
Them both of them.
Licha,
Yeah.
fucking butcher.
Other than that, good result. Jadon Sancho's goal was
Sancho's
sexy.
so good. So good.
Yeah, still. I think he's definitely getting the numbers, but his performances still leave a lot to be desired. He's not showing up as much as he could do. He doesn't suit this Ten Hag system at the moment. I don't think where we in a full strength side when we've got Rashi up top and we're playing sort of long ball doesn't suit Jadon Sancho at all. Really, he wants to be on the ball creating shit in a similar to what a City do, where they suffocate.
To be fair, the 2 times he's drifted into the middle and got on the ball, he scored goals this season. Like I think he just needs to start using that movement more.
Yeah, and he did that quite a bit in this game, to be fair. But yeah, we'll see more to come from him, I think. Casemiro came on, made a cameo for a half time. I think that, to me, at half time, because we were 2-0 up, he took McTominay off. I think, obviously, 2 big things. I think getting legs in Casemiro is good, but I think it shows that McTominay is his first choice. He doesn't want him getting injured for the City game because I think he's one of the first names on his team sheet at the moment. Scott McTominay.
It seems that way for sure.
I think it's hard to disagree that he's been unreal. I think I feel like you've got.
I
feel like you just don't agree with that.
No, I don't understand how he just turns it on, and I don't think
he just turns it on. I think he always gives it all, but he's a very coached player. He does what he's told basically, and I think that's why every coach loves him. But under Ranić, he was a fucking ghost. He literally just.
He makes so many mistakes. He makes so many fouls he doesn't need to, and fucking plays so many shit passes when he doesn't need to. It's all well and good that he's in a great run of form right now, but I don't want him sitting there all season and then him start having 3, 4, 5 games where he's shit and he doesn't get dropped because he's been there. Because he does that. He's a little worm. Fucking gets into a team and he can't get back out again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, credit to the boys. They got the result done.
Yeah.
Fuck Sheriff.
Hell shot the sheriff.
Let's move on to the Premier League fixtures. So obviously another highly messed up round this week. So we've got no Brighton Crystal Palace, no Man United Leeds, and no Chelsea versus Liverpool.
Lucky Posse would have got sacked after that game.
Nice one, Potter.
Scoliosis.
So there's still games that haven't happened yet. There is still, I think, 3 games that haven't happened yet as we're at the current point of filming. Is there? Brentford. No, am I talking shit?
What are you talking about?
There's still games that haven't happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just discussed the
Yeah.
3 that have happened.
The 3 that have
4?
happened. 4.
4 have happened. So first of all was the Villa Southampton game on Saturday morning for us.
Stevie Gerrard.
Yes, Stevie G game.
Passes the ball for the yard.
Stinky Stevie got, what, is that their first win this season?
I think so, actually.
Yeah, right. Against Southampton, who
That's
are
the
on
second,
paper
actually.
a far worse team. So
1-2 drawn, 1 lost 4.
Good result.
yeah, great. Well done, Stinky Steve.
Fair play to him.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
He's the bounce. I think he's got the foot in the door for the bounce back because he's got the draw against City and now he's got a win. It's a good stepping stone for Stevie to get some
Momentum.
Yeah,
Leeds next week as well, so that's another opportunity to try and get another couple of points on the board too.
It's tough because they're both around that mid-table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Jacob
no,
Ramsey doing the damn thing.
yeah. It was. Did anyone watch this game?
No.
I watched the highlights. I think.
I didn't watch the full 90. Nah, but
watch bits and pieces there.
yeah, watch bits and pieces. But I wasn't.
Stats wise, a very even game.
Yeah, it was.
Very even game. I mean, it was a 1-0 win, so it's not a domination by any means, but
I felt Coutinho played really well that game.
Yeah.
He looked back into close to his best. Like I've never seen him make many error passes that whole game. He was very precise. which is huge, especially in the midfield for Villa at the moment.
That's going to be a big thing for me with Villa is getting Coutinho
Mm.
playing. The problem with Coutinho is he has one good game and then he has about 2 or 3 stagnant ones.
Drop-offs, yeah.
He needs to be playing like that all the time.
Week in, week out.
Getting the ball, making shit happen.
I get what you say.
And for me, Stevie has to stick with this exact same lineup for next week.
Yeah.
I feel like he can't, probably not the lineup, but midfield, he's got to stick with the same midfield because I think his issue has been finding his midfield.
Yeah.
And like he's got to draw against City, then a win against Southampton. I feel like he's just got to stick to his guns and see how the boys go.
I've gone off a bit. That Kamara.
Not a fan?
Nah.
Told you. He's shit house.
I don't know what I've seen.
Is Douglas Luiz injured?
No. I don't think
He's
so.
probably out of favour since he tried to fucking get out of the club on deadline day.
Yeah, he came on. They got Dendoncker as well. So they got Luiz and Dendoncker to come on and replace the Kamara
Yeah. He just slows it down,
Kamara-
I feel.
and
Yeah.
Sensen.
But he's played every single game. He's started
Yeah.
every single game since he come in. I think Stevie loves him. But
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
situation, mate. He worms his way into teams.
it's definitely different. I don't know. I'm what I see of him, I'm not super impressed. You know, even like defensively, like he's not.
Yeah, I've not seen what I was expecting to see from him. Like a lot of what he did at Marseille was that sit and roll where he's got plenty. He's not an active defensive midfielder as such. He's kind of wins his tackles,
Does his
1-2,
job.
and then play a ball to break the lines. He's definitely not doing that.
Yeah.
But that's probably just more testament to the Premier League and hey, there's not that room for that.
Not getting enough, like the same amount of time,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Result predictions. Sorry,
Predictions for this one. So Team Liverpool had it 2-1 to Stinky Steve's
Let's
boys.
Well done, boys.
The wise and sensible among us both had it 1-0 to Southampton. So
Result was right.
result was
Half
right,
a
just
point,
the wrong
thanks.
swing. Nottingham versus Fulham. This was actually an absolute barnstormer of a game.
This
Five
was.
goals, 5-goal thriller at Nottingham, with Fulham coming out the favourites 3-2.
Once again, coming from behind Fulham to win.
Showing great heart.
Awaniwi, going back from the score sheet again.
Who's it? So
How do you pronounce it? Awaniwi?
I want to eat.
Tamagotchi?
It was a great goal by Paulinho too. Absolute
Yeah.
thunderbolt into the top
What
corner.
a signing he has been. Honestly, he has been unreal.
You gave him a
cool.
showdown.
£20 million. That's the signing, not Kamara. Paulinho.
Fulham
seems
score
like
all their
Mitrovic had a
goals
good
in
game.
6 minutes.
Hey,
Fulham
Yeah.
score all their goals in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes.
No one else did that, mate. Liverpool in 2005. League final.
come on.
Fuck
now.
off. Any fucking
Oh,
time you can
let's
bring
call
that
it-
shit
call
up.
That's why it jumped out to me. I was like, oh, man.
Good goals too. To be fair, Adam
Yeah.
Bayo's header was a good one.
Yeah.
Willian's first assist on his return game.
That was from the corner, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Harrison Reed's goal was good too. Really well worked. I can't remember who whipped the ball in.
Initially, I thought it was a weird signing getting Willian in, but might be good.
Bobby Reed.
Might be good for them.
Reed.
A nice sort of experienced head there.
I like Bobby Reed too. Didn't he come from Cardiff? Or
Yeah.
QPR?
Bristol original.
Bristol City boy originally.
Oh.
Back in your day when he used to play or under the English flag, he now plays for Jamaica. Hence the Bobby D. Cordova Reed.
Well,
Yeah.
one Bobby.
Yeah,
Roman team.
3-2. I mean, shout out to Fulham. Still doing the damn thing. Picking
They're
up
getting
where they need
points.
to.
They're
Yeah.
racking those points.
I reckon they might stay in the league.
Again, no goals from Mitrovic.
What do you mean again?
Well, I'm just
Well, he's-
saying again because I'm a genius and I said he's not going to score more than 10 goals this season.
He's on 6 already in 6 games.
That's all I'm saying, mate. There's going to be a drop off. It's coming.
Yeah.
Drop off is coming.
No way in the world.
Drop off is
If
coming.
Fulham keep up the form, Mitrovic still keeps scoring.
He'd scored triple the amount of goals as United's top goal scorer. That's what I'm saying. As if United's top goal scorer is Sancho on 2 goals.
Rashford's got 2 as well, mate. So we spread them evenly.
Still beat Liverpool, you idiots. Goal scorers.
Watching the Wolves City. Oh, we're doing
Yeah,
predictions.
let's see.
first.
Come on, man. Let's not jump ahead. So, Scassi had it 2-0 Nottingham. Jackie had it 2-all. Benny, you had it 2-1 Fulham. I had it 3-1 Fulham.
Get in there.
Benny's actually having a reasonable week this week.
We're 2 games in.
Yeah, but this next one coming up,
Yeah.
it puts you on a reasonable week. Wolves at home to Premier League winner 22-23 Manchester City.
This will be
Wolves.
we can discuss this a bit more in depth because we
Yeah.
all watched it except
Well,
for Cal.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, 'cause I
Wolves.
was asleep.
Yeah, they couldn't handle the pressure. Like in the final third, City were just so dominant and pressing. But I felt like Wolves were just making a lot of silly passes in their own first third. Like they did make some where they got out and broke through, but it was very risky business the way they were playing.
I think
Just a testament to their season.
the
Just
odd
very
thing for
flat.
me was when they went man down, they were the better team,
Oh, 100%.
which was weird. You know,
It always seems to happen with teams, though.
like I don't know about that. Like I think like when you go a man down again, especially against a Man City, like
yeah.
who like dominate possession, for Wolves to come out in that second half and they destroyed possession. Like they held it against City. It wasn't until City's third goal where it sort of like
Just
demoralised them a bit, and that was like the real killer blow. But
Yeah.
surprising.
Before the red card, it looked like they had 10 men. After it looked like they had 11.
Yeah.
But the thing
That's
is,
the way to put it.
I think a big change for that was when Ruben Neves went to centre
Yeah.
back. So I think that gave him so much more space. Because before that, anytime he'll get the ball, he'd have rather like Bernardo, De Bruyne, or Rodri on him. Back as centre back, he's able to dictate the game a lot more. And I think Johnny even came into midfield as well, and he's playing that central midfield role too.
What a player Neves is, by the way.
He is.
He is a joke. The way he was pinging balls as a centre back was a joke. Like he was just so calm back
Give
there.
him some time, and he's unreal.
He's good.
Yeah,
I
but
would've
Wolves
loved him
never
in the
made that mistake at the start. I think Poland's tried to pass it to Neves and just completely fucked the pass.
Yeah.
And that's when they got the break and Grealish scored. If that pass made it, the game would have been different, I reckon. But I think that just took all the sting out of Wolves' hope.
Podence for me is a very hit and miss player. He's so erratic with what he does. Like I feel like he tries to pull the strings in that sort of attacking role, but he's just like his sort of playmaking abilities lack.
It felt like that for the whole Wolves team, though. I felt like every single one of their players that game was just taking one too many touches and trying to do that extra thing instead of just playing the simple, sticking to the basics. They're trying to do that extra mile.
Yeah.
Like Guedes tried to do it for a bit, and I remember Aid Nori.
Yeah,
He was just constantly doing it.
Fucking sticking him out of it.
Yeah, we'll feed him. I was watching this game with my mate who's a City fan, and he was. I think the whole game I was just going at this left back.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him now. Sorry, pal.
I think it was hard. The commentators were into him too, but I think it was quite harsh. Like he was definitely wasn't that great. I think he's not that bad. He just needs to release the ball earlier. He's got unbelievable talent.
What I was sort of getting at was like every time he got the ball, he just wanted to do a skill. Like he wanted to do a ball roll. It's like, what are you doing? Just fucking
That's
pass the ball.
that's the thing. He's got ridiculous skills, but like you don't have to show it every time.
Nah.
Like
It just looks silly.
I made a bit of a rogue shout that you just took the piss out of me for. That's going to be hard, mate. That's
Look at him go. Yoga wizard.
I made a bit of a rogue shout that you took the piss out of me for, which was that I think João Cancelo is the best fullback I've ever seen play. I think,
Yeah, it's outrageous.
think-
I saw that Scass and Jack poo-pooed that in the chat this
mate,
morning.
that I do not regret that at all. That is fucking.
I've been
who's
saying
better?
it's
Who's-
crazy.
Don't take this out of context. We think he's a good footballer.
No, you were taking the piss out of me.
Yeah.
You said
Nah.
Scous's message was
Let's get this word for word. Let's get the
get
tea.
this up.
I said Walker Peters was better, but obviously I don't think that.
Oh, I don't know. You Liverpool fans. What was Scous's message, Cal?
He said, Eight Nuri is playing so bad that he's making Cancelo look like the best fullback ever.
Yeah.
That was exact
So,
words from Scass and Jack.
No.
That's how's that wild? Oh, I'll wait. No, I didn't say that. Get over here so you can talk in the mic.
I feel like I'm a bit more.
Less.
Oh, I'm going to sit on the couch
Put
next
that one on
week.
OnlyFans.
So this will be out on OnlyFans last night. You
So-
just subscribe to the Dugout.
Personally, I don't think it's a road shout whatsoever. I didn't say he's the best fullback ever. I said he's the best fullback I think I've ever seen play.
Yeah, well, fair, you've been watching football for about 3 years, so.
Fucking hell, have that.
Before
So who's better then? Because who in your
I mean,
opinion,
you know who they're going to say? They're going to say fucking Trent.
no, because they won't.
No, he's not the best ever.
They're not fucking clueless.
I reckon Ashley Cole's the best fullback ever in the Prem.
No, I'm saying who the best fullback you've ever seen play. Not
Roberto
longevity.
Carlos.
Not longevity.
Roberto Carlos.
Okay. Well, for me, it's Cancelo. I didn't watch.
And
Carlos
Ashley
play.
Cole. I think Ashley Cole's better too.
Ashley
I
Cole's
watch
definitely
Ashley
up
Cole.
Yeah.
Roberto
I
Carlos,
watched
Ashley
Ashley
Cole,
Cole, but
potentially Marcelo as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Phil Neville,
Marcelo.
mate.
I don't know. Cancelo's just the way
He's a beautiful. I'm not discarding him by any chance. He's a fucking amazing footballer, but yeah, he's probably definitely not top 5 for me.
I think this season, if he keeps playing the way he is this season, he takes spots week by week.
I don't
He's
know.
been so instrumental.
not top 5 for you.
No, he's on the way to be like if he keeps playing like this for the rest of his career, he could easily be the best fullback ever. But right now, from the amount of football I've seen, like no.
That's crazy. To me, that's crazy. But anyway, I thought he was unreal for City last night.
I mean, he has been every game he's played.
Yeah,
He's been-
Yeah.
The Tigers. I've seen players like Roberto Carlos. I even watched Cafu at the end of his career. Also watched a bit of Maldini. Also watched Marcelo, Ashley Cole. Like there's so many top Philip Lahm. There's so many top quality fullbacks I've seen. It's hard to put Cancelo above all of them right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've seen bits and pieces of a handful of them, but I think as well. Like I didn't see him enough. Like how much did you really watch Roberto Carlos and Maldini and things like that? Like I didn't watch him game in, game out.
Not game, but I don't watch City game in game out either.
Okay. I do, to be fair.
No, Cancelo is an amazing footballer, but like from footballers I've seen, he's not top 5 best ever that I've seen play, but he's definitely on track to become that.
It's a very subjective sentence when you say he's the best I've ever seen play.
Yeah, 'cause it's hard to argue with because
Yeah.
that's what you've
so I'm
seen.
right. No, but yeah, I definitely think
For the football you've seen, yes.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, him and Luke Shaw, he's definitely better.
Malaysia now.
Shawberto Carlos, mate. Shawberto Carlos.
Yeah, but the goals, going through the goals.
Haaland, what joke. Grow up.
Well, the first one, Grealish is good for Grealish getting that, especially for the World Cup.
I did watch that this morning. Haaland leaves it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's fully capable of getting there and heading it in.
I honestly thought he was going to score.
Yeah,
couldn't
but
believe
like,
he didn't.
and I slowed it down because I was trying to see if like Grealish shouts or anything, or why he just like
Pulled out.
leaves it. He literally just.
I think he
stops
just
running
knows
at
that
it.
there's 2 City players behind him. He's just like, oh,
But he's going for records. Like he wants to be top goal scorer. And he wants to break every record.
yeah,
And
he'll do it anyway.
the fact he just left it is
You reckon he had
insane.
a shout from Jack?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Which is insane. Even that he did it still. Like it shows how much he just gives a shit about that City team. He's not there for himself or anything. Like
That's good. That goes back to
Yeah.
what our concerns were about him at the start.
that's terrifying.
I'm not
though.
scoring and
It's
chucking the
terrifying
prems.
if he's going to be that selfless and still score 30 goals potentially if he stays fit. Like
He is nuts, eh?
he's such a his finish was dumb,
yeah,
just dumb.
well, he scuffs it too, and I think that's the scary thing. Like he doesn't even hit it well, and he puts it still in
What's
the
on his
bottom
weak
corner.
foot?
And he picked the ball up like 30 yards out and somehow just knew he was going to score. Somehow.
I remember messaging. I was like, "That's his first touch," and I think it might not have been. It might have been his second or third. But the first time he actually like
Got the ball.
got the ball with it like, and he just turned and I
Gets
remember
his
what
head down and that big run in on goal.
I was like, "This is a goal." Before even like he got into his stride, I was like, "That's a goal." I don't know what I don't think I've ever watched a player and thought that just as they drive.
Yeah.
Like it's a joke. And
Yeah.
like Jack mentioned, bad defending, yes. But fuck, what do you do about a big man like that running at you?
Don't
That
turn your
pace.
back.
Yeah, don't turn your back.
Like his whole body shape in that situation was off the whole
Yeah,
10 meter thing where it happened.
yeah,
It just did not look right at all.
yeah. No, I agree. I think the defending was bad.
Also, shout out to Rodri too. Like, even though it's against Wolves,
He's unreal.
but like just the way, like 2 people try and tackle him, you just like move.
No, thank you.
And just passes it like,
Yeah.
bruh. Like, do you even get tackled? Like, he's like a fucking big
yeah.
brick wall. Like,
He is a joke.
Talking to my mate last night during the game, I said, "Fuck, Rodri's class,"
yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, actually, he has brain farts." I mean, I haven't seen them, but
What?
if someone was watching them week in, week out,
That's such a Man City fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not.
Phillips
He's
should
not
play
that
over.
good. Yeah.
Let's sign a 200 mil
Get out
player.
of here, yeah.
I don't know. Every time I watch City, Rodri to me is probably the standout.
I feel like they struggle when he's not in the team.
Yeah. Like I think he's like
not
Fernandinho was so good for so many years for him, and Rodri come in and just like up the level. I think he is so good.
no, that blew my mind as well because it was. I mean, he watches them week in, week out, so
Yeah.
It seems like if you're just picking on, like, you need something to talk about when you're talking about how your team's not the best in world football. Like, yeah, but Rodri does weird things sometimes. Like, sometimes he passes sideways.
It would be very hard to criticize City if you support them.
Yeah.
Like, because there's not much to really pick at them.
Yeah, we were watching, and it's like as sort of rival supporters, what do you say against them? It's like you can't even pick shit when you hate them. If you enjoy watching it, it's like fuck. But
there was a stat as well last night that I was saying that. I mean, it's an obvious stat. Haaland's scored 14 goals in 9 games.
Yeah.
But just seeing it in writing is fucking nuts.
yeah,
It's so dumb. 10 goals in his first month.
I saw that if he keeps going at the pace he's going, in the Premier League alone, he could score 57 goals.
yeah. That's,
Right.
like I think he's
57
gonna
goals.
break records in the Premier League.
It goes without saying.
What's is it
33 got set by Salah, or 34.
34.
in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
in one season?
One season, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Salah's got it with 34.
Fucking hell, that's good shit. Well done, Sal. I thought it was like 30.
No,
I think he did that in his 3rd season wonder too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was a 6-season wonder salad, but he's
Yeah.
flopped now in the Prem.
Maybe not. I don't know. That's a big tally to get.
It is hard to get 34. It just depends if he keeps it up.
It's hard to get fucking 25.
Yeah. I was gonna, well, last season top goal scorer was
22 or something. Like
yeah,
that. Low.
and we all picked mid-20s, I think, for top goal scorer.
That was like Salah's crazy. I think he scored like 48 goals that season,
yeah,
all up.
just shows how good he is. But
Predict Chirinos for this one. We all had it in the favour of Manchester City. Scass had it 2-1. Jack had it 2-0. Benny, you had it 3-0. And I also had it 2-0.
is that my first exact? I think that is.
It might be this year, yeah.
Probably my first point.
Ball knowledge, as ever. This game, a very interesting fixture. Well, no, very interesting result for an otherwise monotonous fixture. 1-1 Newcastle United and AFC Bournemouth
Yeah.
at St James's Park.
Points dropped for Newcastle.
Big time. Bournemouth took the lead, 62nd minute, and then
Billing again.
Yep.
Getting a goal.
Isaac finished the penalty 5 minutes later.
Isaac.
I mean, what a great start to life he's having at the Toon. He was already loved
Yeah.
by the fans. He's scoring goals. Should have had 2 against Liverpool. Another one here.
It's good having this confidence up like straight away
Yeah.
coming to the league.
Yeah.
Oh my God, stats wise for this game,
Newcastle dominated.
it's 72.9% possession, 20 shots to 10, almost double the touches, triple the passes.
Hats off
Bournemouth
to
made
Bournemouth.
35 clearances.
Yeah, hats off to Bournemouth because they've really sort of, since they lost Scott Parker, they've turned it around somewhat. Like it's still early doors, but they're definitely making it harder to beat. Which I
Yeah.
think we all thought that it could go very well the opposite way. Losing
After getting sacked after a 9-0, the only way is up, really.
The thing is, they're sitting 12 with 8 points from 7 games. So not having that bad of a season.
Yeah.
Like 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. For a newly promoted side, especially if you look down further in the ladder and you see Leicester and West Ham in the relegation zone. Like Bournemouth actually had a
And
pretty
not-
decent start. I think just that 9-0 battering by Liverpool was a bit of a overshadow.
Yeah. Yeah. And you look at Nottingham as well, the third of the promoted teams. And I think we've all predicted them to have the best season, and they're not looking good at all, to be honest.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because they signed fucking 24 new players.
Of course, yeah, but
They bought in Serge Aurier as well after the window on a free.
yeah, I know.
Mental.
Crazy.
Only 2 teams in the league that haven't won a game yet, and it's Leicester and Everton.
Why do they even bring him in?
They're such stinkers to both of them. Hey?
Just to
I can't
make it-
believe how bad
just to
they
make
both
the
are.
tally
Even
go up.
Leicester, look,
Everton, at
six
least.
losses from 7 games.
Yeah, Everton at least look hard to beat in a lot of games. Like they don't like look bad sometimes, but Leicester, who we should move into.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll just give a shout out to England's best right back being man of the match as well, Kieran Trippier. But yeah.
Carl Walker-Peters, mate.
Yeah, predictions for this one. 3-0.
I got your back.
Scousey had it for Newcastle. Benny had it 3-1. Jackie had it 2-0 Newcastle, and I also had it 3-1. And yeah, moving on to the last game that's happened for us. Tottenham versus Leicester at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A 6-2 demolishing by Tottenham. Second half really turned it on. I mean...
Man them like Son.
I've seen some really mixed opinions on whether Rodgers should get the sack or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of
What do
people
we think?
really rate him. I do not.
I rate him, but it's getting harder to.
Like,
For me,
Back him.
I don't think he should get the sack, but I think he will.
Yeah.
I think you know.
who's a replacement?
Poch.
I don't think
Poch is a
should
good
go.
shout, to be fair, because it's not a lot of pressure on him.
I thought he was going to say Ollie.
I think there is a lot of pressure.
It just
I think
depends. Yeah, he has to stay in the league, and he got 1 point from 7 games.
Yeah.
That's
That's a lot of
red
pressure.
flag for relegation.
I think the squad they've got and the issues they have to come in and try and survive. Not only survive, because Leicester are a pretty ambitious club. Like they want a mid-table finish from this position because it is still early.
Unless his next 5 games, I reckon they have to at least win 3 of them. They got Nottingham, then Bournemouth, then Palace, then Leeds, then Wolves.
I mean, there is 3 wins in there.
And they have to get him. If they don't, I think that's when the sacking shells could be thrown out there.
What's going wrong? What do we think?
Leicester.
Yeah,
I mean, it's their window. The fact that they lost their captain and their goalkeeper, they lost centre-backs. I mean, Soyuncu just seems like he doesn't want to play for them anymore. They lost Fofana. They only brought in 1 replacement centre-back. Their midfield, because they've had to lose Ndidi from the midfield to drop in to play centre-back, they've lost midfield strength as well. Their forward line...
That's the big thing, indeed. Yeah.
Their forward line, like Vardy is old. I think all the vodka, Red Bulls and Charlie is finally catching up on him because he's not that explosive forward in behind. He's still a finisher if you can get to the box. But Leicester really struggle building the play up to the box because they've got no midfield and no centre-backs to actually play football. So it's very, very weird. Obviously, we've spoken before about there might be some financial issues with their owners and whatnot. So, but even still, they've got to have... It just seems like they don't even want to try. Like, they're not... There's no youth players coming in to try and freshen things. They're not doing anything different. They just put the same old line out week after week and hope that they can shit out something.
Something's got to change. Like, I don't agree. Just keep putting the same one out.
Yeah.
Especially 1 point from 7 games. Like,
I mean-
fuck, something's got to change.
And that's where it comes down to. You can say give him another 5 games, but if Rodgers is going to just keep putting out the same shit for 5 games that he has done for the first 7, what's the point?
yeah.
You're then 13 games in and you've got to make a change and you've got to come back from 1 point in 13 instead of 1 point in 7.
Yeah, that would be my criticism of him, is that probably not drastic enough changes have been made. But I don't know. I think their heads are gone. I think that's the big thing for me, their mentality. Like you said, the window. I think that has hampered their mentality. Like, I know
Still got a good squad.
they do, but
It's just not deep enough to compete on...
I think
to compete at all, really.
I remember hearing something about it on Ben Foster's podcast about how where a team being in the dressing room, he said that if you're in a team that doesn't sign in a window, it greatly just derails the motivation for the team.
Because you look around...
Because everyone thinks, well, we're not making any progress.
Yeah.
So those players that are good, like they had a good season last year, and you think, you know, that if they don't sign but they don't lose too many, they're still a strong squad. Those players' heads can go because they're like, well, we're not trying to progress. So what the fuck's the point of us trying? Which is a stupid way to think, but
I mean, it's
it
what
happens.
happens. Like, it's
Yeah.
your job. If you've got someone telling you we're shooting for the stars, we're going to go and do this,
and then
and then nothing happens. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like we've all been in jobs where it's stagnated, and you go, like,
yeah, I'm over this.
this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going anywhere. We're just stuck here. Like,
Repeating, yeah.
and yeah, I mean, you're on 500k a week or something ridiculous. I mean, Leicester aren't on that, but you're on 100k a week, but you're still not progressing. From a personal standpoint, you're going to go, well, this is kind of rubbish.
I think that's why depth is so important, because you need players that on the verge of being in the squad to make sure you perform at your best. Because if you don't have that person, you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to get pushed out the side.
I mean, you look at teams even like Everton last year. Everton were a rubbish team and they all looked demotivated. But then they brought in Anthony Gordon and he gave him a little spark, just enough to keep him in the Prem, and then they can build on that. Like, you just need some... It doesn't have to be a superstar. They brought in 2 players this window, Leicester. Feist, who got absolutely mugged off by Son for his last couple goals, and then a goalkeeper who I don't think we've even seen play for him yet. Like, the telling moment for me in this game, I obviously didn't watch too much of it, but was Bentancour's goal,
Yeah.
because he just pressed. All he did was just press. Tottenham were up there. He just won the ball.
Was it Ndidi or Samara that he robs it off? It's poor from whoever it was.
It might be Ndidi. Yeah, it would have been Ndidi, I think, at that point. Just robs it off him, drives in, finished from outside, like,
Yeah.
catches Danny Ward completely out of position.
It's a good finish, to be
Bottom
fair.
corner, like, and from that moment, that's when they really were like, all right, now we push on. And like, they made changes, they brought it on, they brought Son, who,
What a sub to have.
Jesus Christ, what a sub to have, to come on and score a hat trick.
What a way to kick his campaign off as well, because he hasn't... I mean, we spoke about it on the last few podcasts, but he hasn't obviously hit the ground running this season. I think we all knew he would come good.
Yeah.
What a way to do it. I didn't think he would bang off with a hat trick in his first sort of
And
goal scoring
not
game.
just a hat trick, the calibre of goals
Yeah.
he scored were
Top bins.
outrageous.
Right foot curl outside the box, left foot curl outside the box, and then just a cheeky in the box finish.
Yeah, just, I mean, and Harry Kane still doing the damn thing for Tottenham. So we spoke about earlier that they kind of shat the bed against Porto, but to come back in
Sporting.
Sporting, fucking Portuguese teams, man. Like a 6-2 win against Leicester, like regardless of Leicester's form, that's still a massive, massive statement to make.
Yeah.
Just on Leicester, having no centre backs, putting Ndidi back there. From personal experience watching Liverpool 2 years ago, when we had to play Fabinho centre back, Hendo centre back, just put a centre back at centre back.
Yeah.
And leave Ndidi in the midfield.
Yeah, even it is like...
weakening. You have 2 weak lines now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really rate Samara either. Like, you know, that I think in the games they did push Ndidi back, they relied on Samara to be that holder. And I just don't really rate him at all. Every game I watch him play, he's not that good. He's really not that good. Like, there was one game I watched him play 2 weeks ago. I think Johnny Evans got in the ball in the back line. Sumari runs back and takes it off him. And Johnny Evans is just like he just puts his hands out. He's like, "What are you doing, man?" Like, he literally runs and just grabs it off him and turns around. I was like, Johnny Evans is like the sort of heart of that Leicester team still. Like, he pings the balls, he plays the passes, he keeps the game flowing, I think.
He's a good ball player as well.
Yeah.
It's not like
that's why I don't
it's not like he's a donkey.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and you know, you can, that to me showed straight away, like, I was like, okay, like, there's a bit of like sort of angst in the dressing room. There would be, like, in that team.
Something's not right in there.
Yeah.
Leicester also bizarrely played a 4-1-4-1, where they've been playing like a 3-5-2 this season. So
Yeah. I think that's one thing Rodgers has been doing, is changing formations
yeah,
here and there, but it's got to be personnel now.
but you
Yeah.
can change
It's gotta
formation,
be.
but at the end of the day, he's still trying the exact, like, there's nothing changed tactically. It's still the same players trying to do the same jobs. And
Well, he could be pushing tactics too. You don't know that. Like, he could be trying to change tactics, but the players just not really getting on board with it.
yeah, I don't know. I think they've got to make a pretty serious change sooner rather than later. Otherwise, they kind of doom themselves to the bin.
Could they go down?
James
Very much
Madison's
so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
1 point in 7 games. If they don't get 3 wins out of the next 5, definitely. Especially the opponents that they have in their next 5.
Yeah.
They need those wins, because all these other teams that we predicted to go down are actually getting points.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even Nottingham, like we just spoke about how bad they've started, but I think we all agree that they'll start to gel eventually and start to pick up points. So they need to start getting points, Leicester, because every other team's going to pick up points.
We're still early in the season, but we're also 7 games in now. Like
it's not early.
It's not early.
It's not
just
early
like,
anymore.
Yeah,
This is where you want to.
There is still 31 games up for grabs, but
but a lot of it as well is momentum. Like once you start badly, it is very hard to get out of that slump. Like it is super hard.
James Maddison's goal in that game was good.
Yeah.
Shine a positive for Leicester.
Yeah, he's going to get 60 mil when he goes.
I think that could be a big detriment to him as well. Like players like Maddison and Tielemans, who they're still performing pretty well, but both of them were 1 foot out the door in the transfer window. Like they both had moves lined up, and neither of them went. And probably, for me personally, if I was in their shoes, I'd be very upset.
Yeah,
We talked about the headspace, not like the club stagnating this season. They would have seen that, and a big move to Newcastle for Matters would have been unreal, and a big move to Arsenal for Tielemans would have been unreal. And for them to break down, that's not going to help their mental state. They won't be portraying,
especially post World Cup like that. The January window this year is going to be mental because there's teams that are going to have to fill gaps left by injuries from the World Cup.
Yeah,
and like there's going to be big. Like we don't usually see it. We see 1 or 2 big moves in January.
Yeah,
there's going to be 4, 5, 6. It's
going to be havoc
because players are going to have to make things happen, or teams, I should say, are going to have to make things happen to fill those gaps so they don't fall off the second half.
Definitely.
Exciting times, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I think Potter for Chelsea will try and bring someone in of more of his style of player as well.
Yeah. Definitely shift some bodies too. It's a good time to do it. So predictions-wise, we all had it in Tottenham's favour. None of us had a 6-2 though. Scassi, you had it 2-0. Benny 3-1. Jackie 2-1. And me 3-0. So that's all. Oh, it is you. Sorry, Jackie. You were 3-1. Benny was 2-1.
Does that spreadsheet have like accumulated points of so far?
It doesn't because I haven't done it so far. Last time I did it was...
Oh, we didn't know
before last.
accumulative. We don't need to know accumulative.
All we know is Benny's last. Benny is significantly
top of the group
last.
this week, mate. That's all that matters.
It's upside down day, isn't it, mate?
So far, mate. We'll see what happens. Still got 3 more fixtures to play.
Who we got tonight? Is it Arsenal?
Brentford, Arsenal, Everton, West Ham.
That's it.
And that's it. Just 2 games because
Might watch.
There's an earlier. Yeah, I might watch Brentford Arsenal. That's early for us.
Might watch Everton West Ham because I feel like both teams both have to win.
I'll be doing nothing.
Oh, 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be watching the Arsenal game.
I will be in bed sleeping. So let's get on to the topic we kind of touched on the end of last week's podcast. The European Super League rearing its ugly head. So I've got a little timeline here of how everything kind of developed from the start of it. Obviously, it was a surprise to all of us. It started to come out that some journalists were reporting that 5 English clubs had signed up to a European pull-off league. Those ones were United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham. And Man City were not all the way in. It was just rumoured that they were in. And then it started to come out more and more that it would be a league where no one could get relegated. Well, 15 clubs would always be in there and 5 could come up and go down in and around them. Including in those clubs are teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, Juventus, Inter and AC Milan. Obviously, once this came out properly and truly, massive fan backlash on all fronts. I don't think, well, particularly from us English football fans, I don't think anybody was pro Super League.
No.
I don't think
massive riots and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything so biased towards not having it as well.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was against it.
All the pundits, all the fans, all the players.
You don't normally see the
no
media.
Everyone coming out. Obviously, Gary Neville was very prominent and outspoken in it. It was all
And Cara.
yeah.
Cara and Neville.
The two of them
forefront
did
of
a massive Monday Night Football, I think it was, where they came out and
Torture
said,
shreds.
yeah,
I think-
everyone's a disgrace. Like,
I think those two are a big part of it too, because obviously Cara, Liverpool, Neville, United too, seeing them two come together and actually
Yeah.
be the face of anti-Super League, then help than advocate for all the fans and everyone else, because it could have been easy for Sky Sports to say, don't talk about this, keep your mouth shut, or you're going to lose your job. But I think that wouldn't even stop Carrot or Neville anyway. No. So they were just like, all right, well.
It was pretty united. Like, even the UK government came out and said, we'll tax these dogs. Like, we're more than prepared to do it.
We'll make them not worth it for them.
And then obviously it came out that Florentino Perez was going to be the president of it. Ed Woodward was going to be vice president.
No, wasn't it Joel Glazer?
No, it's Ed Woodward.
Was it?
Yeah, that's why he's no longer with Manchester United. A rat.
Joel Glazer was like a huge part of it.
He's on the board for it, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was him and Perez that were like basically shoehorned. Like they were.
I mean, Woodward was the one that was down as vice president of the Super League.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I remember I don't think our owners were involved on the board, but they were pushing it hectic.
Yeah.
But then they ended up coming out and releasing like a 5-minute apology video.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
So then that was the first day. So that all that happened within the first day. All the teams came out. Who was in it? Who was going to be running it? The second day.
It was like the pandemic when it came out. It was like the
pandemic.
Like it was all I seen on my news feed. Like it was like the end of the world.
It was also it happened in lockdown in England too. So people were breaking lockdown. Like obviously there was the big Chelsea riots. Just insanity. So it came out that like a bunch of the different team supporter clubs were sending in letters to help stop this thing. The Super League then started pushing legal notice onto the like FIFA and UEFA, trying to block any type of sanctions or bans that could be put in place. And then people from the Super League, so Ed Woodward and Andrea Agnelli, left the European Clubs Association while still working for their clubs to try and really push that through. The first ones to say that they weren't going to be a part of it, the first big clubs,
Germany,
Dortmund and Bayern, and Leipzig, because they're all fan-owned. So I don't know if you boys know, all Bundesliga clubs are fan-owned, at least 51%. So
I love that about it.
Which is awesome. And they were all like, fuck that off. Even PSG, the big oil merchants themselves, were not interested in it. The first player to actually come out and talk shit was Ander Herrera.
Was he?
Yeah. Came out. I think he was a post-game interview.
For PSG, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PSG player at the time, and he said, no, this is stupid. This is so dumb. Everyone sucks. This is rubbish. And as soon as he said that, Özil, Wenger, and Sir Alex came out and said, no, this is dumb. This sucks. And then it all started to kick off. The UK government said they'll do whatever it takes to stop the clubs going. Jurgen Klopp was one of the first managers to come out in the post-game interview or pre-game interview against Leeds.
I'm so glad that Jurgen is a Red. I'm so glad he delivered what he said. Jurgen said to me, we'll win the Premier League. He said so. I'm in love with him and I feel fine. I'm glad you just let me keep going.
I wasn't going to interrupt you, mate. I thought it was going to be more interesting than that. But
I was waiting for Jack to join.
But Klopp came out and Milner came out and said, obviously, everyone's against it in the dressing room. It's a load of shit. Perez then came on, Florentino Perez, saying, look, we're going to save everyone like a true dictator. He's like, we're going to make everything so much better.
Well, shout out to Klopp quickly, because all owners really wanted the Super League, and for him to come out publicly and say that, considering how much he protects the club and the players on a daily basis. Like, even though the owners are like, this is what we're doing, he's like, fuck that, I'm still speaking up against you.
Yeah. I don't remember Ollie saying a word about it.
No, dead quiet the whole time. Unsurprisingly.
Other things to worry about.
The first big club from the Premier League to come out and say, like, this is bullshit was Everton. Everton came out and says, disgrace. They were calling themselves the other 14 clubs. This is a disgrace to let this happen. And they were trying to get it to pull apart. Shortly after that, it came out that Chelsea and Man City. So Man City were never fully in anyway, but Chelsea were. They were starting to pull out. And then Pep came out and said, the type of structure they're setting up is not the structure to why football is great. We need to have things like relegation and promotion, and
literally
success can't be guaranteed in any form, which the league exactly is trying to do that. And on this very same day, it is the infamous day that all the Chelsea fans gathered at Stamford Bridge outside, where Petr Cech seen in the crowd arguing with all the big hitters out there. I think Thogden and Thogdad, the YouTubers, were in there saving football, doing the Lord work. But yeah, this is the day where it all fall apart, and then this is the day that Chelsea pulled out, City pulled out, Ed Woodward stepped down from Manchester United.
He did that to be a part of the Super League, or just because he was
did
already
that
in
because
it?
of the backlash, because this is the day where it all fell apart.
Yeah.
So City were the first to announce that they'd formally pulled out of it. And then Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United and Tottenham also said, sorry, we fucked it. The crazy thing is that none of the Spanish teams, none of the Italian teams have ever said they're pulling out, which is what brought it up last week, is that it was mentioned by Tony Kroos and others. Plans are still happening.
Yeah.
They're still swirling. It's still kicking on. So I just want to hear your boys' thoughts. Obviously, we thought we were done with it. We thought it was gone. It was a crazy 2, 3, 4 days. What do we think now about a Super League and the possibility of it possibly happening anyway?
I think it's great.
The way they're setting up the Champions League now is becoming very concerning too. Like, have you guys seen the plans of how they want to transform Champions League? It's kind of similar to Super League. So I'm not sure if they're trying to go down that route and just making the Champions League the Super League. But even if they do that, like, that's fucked. Like,
What do they want to change about the Champions League?
Is that having like those foundation members guaranteed a Champions League spot?
I'll get up on Google because I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, I don't know. With this, I never understood. Like, I was completely against it from the get-go. I think everyone was. But
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe how, like, that they threw the idea that such a bad idea out there and, like, so much money into it. Like, I was just baffled by it, to be honest. I was taken back by how badly structured it was for such a, I mean, remember, Florentino Perez is, hugely successful, and so is, all the other big business people that were in it. For them to throw something so poorly structured out there and think everyone would get on board. I mean, they come out and said, they were like, we know that people aren't going to like this, but this is the future of football. I remember them saying that. But, gee, you would think that they would put a bit more effort into being a more fan favourite than that.
Shocking marketing. Like, they did not market that.
They
well
sprung
enough.
it. They
Dropping
completely
on us,
sprung
being
it.
like,
Yeah.
this
Just
is what's
announced.
happening.
Yeah, it was like, this is what's happening. It's like, you fucking kidding yourselves.
It's a crazy time in the world too. Their timing of it, mid
Yeah.
lockdown in England, football
that-
was being played behind closed doors. Like,
That's why they did it, isn't it? Because the money issues in
Yeah.
places like Spain and Italy, like for those big hitters, was becoming a big issue for them.
Yeah.
And this is their way out.
Well, Perez in his statement said, like, football's dead by 2024 unless we do this right now.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. But wasn't every club getting off like 100 million to go as well?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was
So it was like a
massive.
$3.5 billion infrastructure grant for the 15 founding teams. So it would spread year after year. They'd get X amount of money to get the best players in the world, basically.
It seems like something out of a fucking terrible FIFA tournament. That's what it is. It's something you do when you get bored at home on FIFA or something like that, and you just fucking create some stupid thing.
I don't understand the whole idea of football's going to be dead beyond 24. Like, I think now football's as best it's ever been.
I think they were thinking financially if it
competitive.
kept on the way it was, because obviously to run football teams and without the income of ticket sales and whatnot, like,
During the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, I think no one really could see where everything was going with the pandemic, but yeah, I do agree. I think, especially for the Premier League, football's is the best it's ever been. But definitely the leagues like Italy and Spain and places like that have had a big fall away. And I think that's why. Like, it still makes sense for me for the Italian sides and the Spanish sides to do it. They would want it. 100%.
it makes sense why they'd want it. It doesn't make sense that they'd do it because it's still shocking. Like, makes sense. If football's all about money, then yeah, it makes sense. But, like, the Spanish and the Italian games far more than in English, I think, passion-wise.
Yeah, massive.
Like, it's not about money. Like, football's great for money, but it's not about money. And
It just turned into a business.
yeah, it's the owners, people like Perez and the owners of these big clubs. Like,
Yeah.
you look at teams like Real Madrid. Like, Real Madrid have been around
Historic.
like 1800s, like, and they've been at the top of the game since their creation, basically. And yeah, to pull it from under the fans too, because that's the thing. Like, football already is so expensive to be a fan of. Like, whether you're lucky enough to live somewhere where you can go and watch your team every week and have a season ticket, or if not, you've got to pay for 4 or 5 streaming services to watch every game, and paying for shirts.
Optus Sports just increased their
Yeah.
monthly bill by the
And
way.
like, if we want to watch
I was
Champions
like, what the
League,
fuck is
we've
this
got to buy
6
another one. We've
Doubled it.
like, if we want to watch FA Cup, we've got to buy another streaming service. And you want to buy a shirt, like, Man United shirts in Australia are $140 each.
Yeah. Australian dollars.
Yeah,
Which is, I think,
Like £80.
yeah.
80 quid, which is insanity.
Yeah. And
And
that's, I think that's without fucking names on the back.
Yeah,
they
no names,
charge
no
extra for numbers.
Just the
names.
cheapest, like,
Then the
most
badges, like
basic
the
shirt.
Prem badges.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if these teams are struggling for money, like a Real Madrid or whatever, like, stop offering like 250 million for an Mbappe and giving them $1 million a week. Like, your issue is bigger than just we need money for the Super League. Like, stop giving cunts 500k contracts.
Yeah.
Stop paying hundreds of millions of dollars for players. Like, that's your issue. It's the way you're spending.
It's the setups they got. Now, I don't want things like a salary cap and any of that, because I believe that kills sports. Like, it puts a ceiling on yourself where you can't push on and do that. But you've got to be
wise.
You've got to have a structure to it. Like, you can't just be throwing money at any old Tom, Dick, and Harry.
So you don't believe in the salary cap?
No.
But still a financial fair play.
Yeah.
That's probably policed a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some sort of capping wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, because you look at sports like the A-League has a cap, the NRL, all that over here has a cap, and it's very, very, like, the NRL and the A-League's impact, like, obviously because we're in Australia, it's very poignant, but from a, like, societal point, it's nowhere near as big as anything. Like, I watched my first game of rugby, not ever, but in a long time the other week, and it was supposed to, like, everyone was telling me, oh, it's like the United Liverpool derby. Like, it was so flat and boring, and just like the stadium's half full, and they're like, look at it, it's an electric atmosphere. I'm like, that's nothing. The Rabbitohs and Roosters, like,
It's a shit game.
yeah. I'm like, and everyone's like, this is the most exciting. I'm like, is it? Because it looks boring. Like, the fact, like, it's just so flat. Like, people are standing there waving a little flag and trying to get on the jumbotron, and it's like, what are we doing? By having a salary cap there, you incite that, because teams can only spend X amount of money, so they just can't. Like, players are like, well, I'm already at the best. Why would I try and be any better? I'm gonna sit on this wage for 3 years. I'm gonna good on it, and then whatever. I'll just go and play over in England or somewhere like that, and then you see the talent go over there. So by having those salary caps, you put the limit on yourself, instead of just like if the A-League didn't have a salary cap and didn't have a marquee player cap, they could bring in so much more talent and make it so much more, like, crazy, and offer, like, young kids, because you look at, like, the youth systems, or not the youth systems, the lower league systems, even in Queensland, there's some exciting players that would tear up the A-League in there, but they don't even get the chance because they still have to work a full-time job.
Yeah. And the
Could you imagine if, so when someone from the A-League goes overseas, the A-League Facebook, fucking Instagram announce it?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, look at this. We're so
That's
good.
crazy.
Could you imagine if the Premier League said,
Mane's gone to Munich.
yeah, how good is this for the Premier League?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're fucking losing one of your best players.
The most thing that A-League have posted, so there's been crazy transfers, crazy results in pre-season. They post about Ange Postecoglou more than Celtic or the SPFL or anyone. Like,
They need to promote their own a lot more. And the thing with the salary cap too is I think, like, especially for the players, like, if they're performing at that top level and they do keep growing, they should be earning that money, because, like, can you imagine working for a business? This business is making like 200x of your salary, and you're a big part of the reason why this business is growing at this substantial amount. Yeah. But your income's not growing because of the cap. Yeah. It's gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing?
But there definitely needs to be a restructuring of football as a whole, But I think something like the Super League is just, it's insanity.
Well, not the whole chat of Gary Neville and Carragher was the great thing, but it was a big point. And it was, the Super League was basically designed so that these owners had guaranteed income.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
It's all about the owners.
Yeah, it's dickheads like the Glazers, the scumbags that just see football clubs as an opportunity to fill their back pocket.
Well, even FSG, somehow every transfer window we're always making profit.
Yeah.
And then we're also making profit from everything else that we do at the club as well. And it's like, why do you need more money? Like, you're literally making so much profit of our club, and you're trying to take us through this other shit too to make more money off us. Like, it's literally just stealing more money out the fans' pockets, and it's just ridiculous.
What's annoying is when, like, we make profit in the transfer window, but they'll go and tickle our fancy when they go and like spend a little bit over here, spend a bit over there, just to keep us happy and shut us up. You guys probably know it more than us.
Just buying random.
We don't profit in transfer windows. We lose money, and then the Glazers still manage to fucking fill their pockets more than they lost off us anyway.
Yeah.
And ticket prices too. Like nowadays, to get into it, like when I went to, I probably won't tell the full story, but when I went to Liverpool, I got a ticket for £50, and like that's unheard of.
Yeah,
like £50 to a game at Anfield, which is like, wow.
Yeah,
but like I think the actual tickets are a lot more than that.
Yeah, they're great. It's like upwards of 100. Which is like $200 to sit in the nosebleeds.
I think the big thing as well with United, with Glazers is, you know, the taking of the dividends. Like no other club does that. Yeah. No other club owners take dividends out. And it's not fucking minimal dividends either. I think they took, before we had signed a player in the window, they took £12 million dividends. Yeah, which is like everyone, like all United fans. Yeah, that was this season. Everyone was just like, what the fuck? Like, we just come off our worst ever season. We signed we hadn't signed anyone. I think it might have been Malaysia was in talks, but we hadn't signed anyone, and they just took £12 million out of the club. And everyone was just like, what the fuck? Like, how can that? How can you justify that? What?
The cheapest price for Anfield is £150.
Yeah, mental. Which is like $300 and something.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the thing with Glazers is like, as soon as they come under scrutiny, they just like, all right, well, we just like try and please them. But I think the good thing about where we're at now is every United fan is just over it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's just like, okay, like, fuck this. Like, that's why we always say, after every good result, after every good thing, Glazers out. Because it doesn't matter how good we go. It doesn't matter if we start winning leagues. It doesn't matter if we start winning champions. They are still bad owners.
If we win the league and the Champions League in a season, but we still have the Glazers, it's not a win of a season.
Yeah. I will still, if we win a treble this year, which will never happen, but if we did, I would still say Glazers out at the end.
Glazers out. It doesn't change.
I want them out. We all want them out of the club. There's no, and I think a big thing is Sir Jim Radcliffe coming in with offers for United as well. That was why they bought Anthony and Casemiro. Yeah. We had shut up shop on signings, and then Sir Jim Radcliffe offered for the club, and they bought Casemiro and Anthony. That's the only reason they bought them in.
Yeah. Let me quickly correct myself. The website I was on was at a third party, so I think that was a stitch up to make tourists pay more. So the Liverpool website, you can get tickets for £60. That's still like $140. Yeah. It's still expensive.
Sanity.
I can go down to Redcliffe Dolphins and watch Brisbane Roar for $20, mate.
$20 and $5.
£10.
Like. So
yeah, I've heard. Sorry, I've heard food and beers and stuff at the ground.
Yeah, it's like $4 for
ridiculous.
Beer.
Oh, in England, yeah.
Oh, in
England, yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's
Like,
like,
I don't remember how much I paid. I was pretty plastered.
it's like 20 quid for some fucking nachos. Just gross.
Have you seen all those photos you see on like Facebook of like each stadium's food?
Yeah.
It gets posted. Yeah, some of the food's shocking.
That's another thing about United as well. Apparently, I've never seen it firsthand, but
Check the prices.
massive appeals for a restructure of the Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's just fucked. Like
It's run
the
down.
infrastructure is just terrible.
Yeah.
Not only the stadium, but apparently the training facilities. Like, we're just well behind every other club.
Yeah, well, because we were so far ahead, it's just people are catching up, and it just shows. Like,
Yeah, we haven't done anything.
Carrington was
years.
massive, and But that's because the fucking Glazers don't want to put any money into
That
it.
is, sorry, I was going to say, that is one thing I'll give to FSG. Like, the way they've kept upgrading Anfield season after season, like the way they've also just built a brand new training facility. So when, is it that? What's it called now? Our new one?
The AXA.
AXA, that's it, yeah.
Training centre.
So they've done really well for fucking doing our stadium and infrastructure and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on the Super League, going back to it, the reason it's starting to come up, so I said players like, obviously, Perez has always said it's going to be a thing. The Real Madrid players, like Toni Kroos in particular, they're still big proponents of it. I think it's time to happen.
They want it to happen.
I can't
Yeah.
believe any player wants this to happen.
Well, scarily, the man who's just taken control of Chelsea, the man who wants to bring in shit like All-Star games and Americanise our beautiful sport, Todd Boehly has said it. We obviously pulled out, but I'd never say a hard no to an opportunity.
I like to keep options alive, he says.
Yeah.
He's a fucking idiot, by the way. He really is. He's just a clown, Todd Boehly.
Bring back Roman.
Well, wait for this war to be over, and I dare say there'll be a bid coming in from him.
Yeah.
As soon as the oligarchs can go back and spend their money however they want to, I dare say he'll go and get Chelsea again.
Is this just because he's Russian? That's why he had to go away.
No,
he's
he's
very
in
tight
tie
with
with
Putin.
Putin.
Oh, don't bring
They're
him back
boys.
then. I didn't know that.
They're boys. But yeah, like Todd Boehly, so he's mentioned this week he'd love to see an All-Star game, a North versus South All-Star game in
I am
England.
not watching a game of Liverpool United players playing together.
No, I think it's
I'm not watching
think-
that shit.
like it's fun to do on FIFA, but
Yeah.
like it ruins it takes you look at American sports, there's no rivalries there. There's no fucking you would never see Keane and Gerrard playing in the same team. Like
The
as
thing-
much as they both said they'd love to, they'd kill each other.
The thing is, Klopp said in the interview too, like the players are tired enough.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
play Premier League, Champions League, or just say Premier League for an example. They play that for 9 months, and their 3-month break to play international football.
Yeah.
Like
Where's
when
There's no
where's the
time to
holiday?
fit it in. Like
Yes,
American
yeah.
sports don't play for half the year.
yeah. And
Yeah, well-
literally, football's 12 months non-stop. There might be like a 4-week period where there's nothing, but there's always football
Yeah,
on.
we don't need more. Like as lovely as it would be to have more football, we don't need more.
Yeah.
And like, even though like even Liverpool's rivalry is in south of England, it's like it's 40 minutes down the road to Manchester.
Yeah.
We don't need to verse south of England. Like,
Yeah, I think it's it's just a money grab from fucking American
Yeah.
dog owners who don't understand what a real passionate sport is.
or even just English culture in general, British culture.
Yeah, for me, that's a big thing. Is you can't come in. He's been in the job 5 minutes and he's trying to change the culture of
Very crux of
Premier League football.
everything, yeah.
It's like, come on now, like fucking take a back seat, mate.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Sit down, shut up, you.
you just
muppet.
got there. But I was gonna say as well. I think it was. I was watching I think it was BT Sport or Sky Sports, and I think it might have been Owen Hargreaves who was talking about it, and he said a big thing about the All Stars games in America, especially the basketball, is they're shit. The All Stars, like the players don't care when they're
Yeah.
playing it. The
They're
players
just
do
doing-
not
they're
give a
just doing
fuck.
Tricks.
It's like a charity
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no one enjoys them that much because,
Yeah.
like the players, they don't want to get injured. Number one, which is a big thing as well.
Yeah.
Like football's a very, very full on sport, and it, like we said, there's already massive amounts of games to fit in an All Stars game somewhere would be probably in a period where players aren't fit enough to play anyway, and then injuries will occur, and then If I was a coach, like if I was Klopp or Ten Hag or Pep or anything like that, I wouldn't want my players going to play
you'd
a
say
fucking
no.
All Stars game.
You know what will, like, Scash just said charity matches there. So you look at when, like, Liverpool legends or Man United legends or Bayern Munich legends play. Like, that's all fun and games. Like,
Yeah.
to watch, like, Beckham and Scholes and that. But even they're, like, boring as shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's legends, yeah, they're a bit past it. But they're still technically, like, they can still do a job.
Yeah.
And even then, but, like, you're not going to get any better than that when you have an all-star game anyway.
No.
No.
Just talking about the managers as well. You need a manager. I reckon they would be like, fuck that, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd rather
exactly.
spend-
It's like, who coaches?
They need
They
the
want
whole
a break
staff.
as well.
Like you need
Yeah.
physios and
Yeah.
there's just so much that goes fucking into it.
Also, another point, fucking Liverpool and City, the two best teams in the league for 3 or 4 seasons now, they would just destroy the I don't know if it's south or north in England, but that team would just trump them. Like, it wouldn't even be a contest. It'd be like it'd be like a 4-goal deficit. Like, it wouldn't even be enjoyable to watch.
Because like even the best, so you'd have like London and Chelsea players, Arsenal and Chelsea players, because that'd be like the same.
Yeah,
so you'd
and
have
Tottenham.
It would be a full team of London teams versus
Liverpool and City.
It'd be literally just Liverpool and City. I don't even think a United player would make it in. Maybe
on the bench. I mean, you'd have CR7 obviously, because if it's all
Tickets.
for fucking money and bullshit anyway, and then you can sell an all-star shirt with Ronaldo on the back, you're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't agree with any of this. I don't agree, like, as much as you can look at it and say, like, we're stuck in our ways and we don't, like, there is definitely room for football to grow and accommodate a massive financial structure, which there now is. But pulling in stupid American shit and doing things like stupid Super League and stuff like that is not the way to do it.
It's good to see the managers coming out talking against the fucking whole All-Star game.
Stevie G didn't.
Like, it was good to see Klopp come out and say it.
Stinky Steve said he wanted it and wanted to play in it.
did he?
Yeah.
He said he wanted it. He just said it'd be interesting to watch.
He said, I wish I could have played in one. We're going to do it. Stinky Steve, yeah.
Stinkhead.
Yeah, I mean, look, all we can do is sit here and hope that...
I think of how everyone united against Super League. Like, it was this... I feel like... Because the thing is, like, to let these players go and play this All-Star game, like, there's so much things that have to happen through contracts and things like that too. And I can't see managers wanting to approve any of their players leaving.
Yeah.
Like, with their contract obligations.
So I'm just reading on further into this Todd Boehly interview, which he was talking about the Super League. This is actually the one where he's talking about the All-Star game too. And he says, his last words in the interview are, everyone likes the idea of more revenue for the league, but there's a real cultural aspect, and I think evolution will come. So he somehow thinks the English are going to evolve into some Americanized culture where we give a single fuck about... he said, why don't we do a tournament with the bottom 4 teams? Because the relegation teams are the ones that get the big TV numbers.
I don't think foreign people understand, like, how strong English culture is once
Like,
you're there.
it's so deep. Like,
It
that's
is.
the main...
Like, it's
we've been doing
centuries,
this
thousands
shit,
of years.
We've been
of
doing
culture.
this shit for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like,
Thousands.
Premier League didn't pop up yesterday. Teams like United and Liverpool, they've been around for hundreds... Like,
1892 we were founded.
yeah. And you're going to come in and fucking throw some bullshit.
130. Well, you said hundreds of years.
Yeah, you said thousands. Didn't you?
Well, England's been around, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No, football's been around.
That's what I thought you were saying. I was like, thousands a year.
Mate, Jesus played for Liverpool, mate.
Did you not see the caveman scoring top bins with a little coconut, mate?
Didn't you see hoo hoo ha ha score top left?
You've never seen Ooga Booga Wooga. Starting fires and scoring top bin screamers, mate. But yeah, like, it's just so dumb. I think I just hate the sense of a more business-focused football,
Yeah, same.
which is going to have to happen to some degree, but the degrees in which they're talking are too drastic, too dramatic, and completely unnecessary.
Yeah, like All-Star game just doesn't make sense. Like, if we had like an actual 3-month period where there's no football, it makes sense. But there's literally football 12 months of the year, non-stop.
Another thing is, with like all this stuff very well could happen with all these American owners. I think there's now 11 of the 20 teams in the Premier League American owners, yeah. But like from a fan's point of view, like, you just don't want it to happen this way.
The thing is,
I don't
just
think it will.
won't buy tickets for it, just don't show up.
Yeah,
Make it
Yeah.
look
just
stupid.
protest.
Let's
At the end of the day, fans are the heart of the sport. Like,
Oh, there's no football without fans.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, if fans don't want it, like, I mean, some fans are going to want it, of course, but if fans don't want it, same with Super League, it just will not happen. There's just no way it'll happen. So, well, I guess we'll see, but I can't see a way.
Only thing I could think of is like an All-Stars under 21s game. But even that would not even bring in revenue.
Yeah.
The only way you do it is like a charity match. But then, if we're just going to do charity match of old legends, I'd much rather watch, like, the Sidemen are doing a charity match next week. That'd be way more interesting to watch a bunch of them play for Premier League clubs than it would be for...
Yeah.
They don't want they don't want it for charity. They want it for themselves.
Yeah, I know, that's the gross
otherwise,
part.
yeah.
Like, but that's what I'm saying from a fan's perspective. I don't give a fuck about. I don't want to give them money. I want to give it to charity. Like, I would
Yeah.
get behind a charity game where it's
exactly.
like you have a bunch of influencers or famous people representing their favorite teams. Like,
Why do they need more fucking money? absolute billionaires, all of them, and they want more and more money.
Well, there's a reason they got to where they are.
That's why they are billionaires.
Yeah,
Just all
just
rats.
ruthless businessmen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a hard market to come into football and try and implement all your ideas and bring a change, because the consumers is not like a Nike product where you sell it and then the consumers are still the same. Like football, the consumers are so deep and rooted into the brand of football that they won't allow the people at the top to change the product.
I think that's a lot of thing. The American. Oh, did
Oh,
Jackie do it?
Jackie.
Oh no!
Tables have turned.
We're what, 8 weeks into this now? God. But yeah, like the consumerism in America is like insane. Like NBA teams bring out 8 jerseys a year and people will buy all of them. Some of them twice to have 2 different names on the back. Like, you can see like English teams like United are the worst for it. Would bring out 7 shirts a year, but like Arsenal will bring out 10. Like, and if we're gonna move down that route, it's pretty gross. It's pretty gross.
Remember back in the day, I think through the 90s, used to keep the same jersey for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, well, I think Brentford did it. Brentford haven't bought out a new home shirt this year. They've just rocked on with the same from last
So
year.
no, we did the same jersey for like 2 to 3 seasons up until like 99.
United used to rock a lot of, which is good. It's good to find replicas of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our thoughts on the Super League there. Let us know in the comments how you feel, if you want to see a Super League, and if you do, we'll block you because you're scum. But no, let
Cancel
us know.
culture.
Yeah.
That'll be us now.
Should we recap? I know we've already probably said this last episode, but just to freshen the minds, like our predictions for tonight's games.
Yeah, let's jump onto it.
Yeah, good idea.
Why not?
Exciting games.
So yeah,
tonight.
just the 2 games tonight, because obviously all the cancelled fixtures for Her Majesty laying to rest. So we've got Brentford versus Arsenal. Brentford are at home. Scousey, you've gone 3-1 to Arsenal. Jackie, you've gone 1-0. Benny, you've gone 3-2. And I've gone 2-0. We've all gone in the favour of Arsenal. And then Everton versus West Ham United at Goodison Park. Scousey, you've gone 2-1 West Ham. Jackie, you've gone 1-0. Benny, you've gone 1-0 West Ham. And I've gone 2-1 West Ham as well.
I do think on that Brentford Arsenal game, it could be a Brentford win, to be honest.
Yeah.
Could
I know,
very
I
well be.
kind of wish I'd changed mine. But I'm going to stick with it because I'm a real bloke. But yeah. I can see Brentford doing the same as they did last year at Arsenal's first game of the season, pulling out like a little 3-0 or something, because they do look marvellous.
It'd be interesting to see as well, because it is Arsenal's first game since we battered them 3-1.
Yeah, true.
So, you know, if they bounce back, if they don't, what happens there, I guess.
It is cool to see teams playing a bit more regenerated too. Obviously, having a week off, no internationals, nothing. So, obviously, next week we will be talking about those 2 games, but there'll be no club football next week, so international breaks.
Yeah, we'll
So-
talk about international football then.
Yeah, I guess we can touch on it.
Yeah.
For those of us interested in international friendlies, well, it's Nations League, some of them. So
What the fuck is the
it's
difference?
basically friendly that you get some points from.
That's a stupid system.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything else for us to bring up this week, is there?
No.
Not really.
That's the potty done and dusted, kippers and custard.
Cool, dude.
So yeah, give us a like, subscribe, share if you're on YouTube. I think you can like on Spotify, Apple Music, get around it, get us out there, get us in the algorithm.
Do we want to talk about Greenwood back in United, or is it too controversial?
I mean, it's nothing.
I wouldn't say it's nothing.
He's named in the squad. If he's found guilty, he's out of it. If not,
Well, I thought I read something last night that the charges were dropped.
I haven't seen anything official from the courts or anything.
Yeah, it
I've just
might have
seen
been.
journalists. I've seen a lot of stuff like that, and it's just journalists.
Maybe we should wait until we have official news.
Yeah, I mean, we can touch on it. He was named in the Premier League, the full Premier League squad, as a under 21 that can feature in games. It's like an uncounted number type thing. But it's not surprising because Ten Hag said when he got the job, he said if he's found not guilty, he'll play football. If not,
I don't see how he can not. Like, the video is pretty... Well, the
Yeah.
audio is pretty...
I think not guilty doesn't tell the story.
yeah, the judicial system is what it is. I think Ten Hag's just sticking to the fact that you innocent till proven guilty.
Yeah.
He's not going to take the chance away from him. I mean, for all his personal flaws, he's still a marvellous footballer. I mean, not going to be over the moon if he comes back, but...
Do you think he... I don't know. I think it will be hard for him to come back, even if he is proven guilty. Proven
it.
innocent.
Yeah. He's still got to come back. He hasn't been training. He hasn't been working. Like
The angst as well, if he does come back in the
Like,
dressing room.
He'll cop it as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
From fans.
imagine the
I
first
think you
time
know
he
they'll
Rebel
cop
fans.
it.
yeah,
The club.
the
Yeah,
whole
hit.
anyone who's involved. Like for Ten Hag though, it's a brazen move to put him in there, but it means nothing because the list of players he's on are like players that could potentially debut in the season. So there's a lot of our youth that are on there that may or may not make their Premier League debuts. It just so happens if he does come on, he's the number 11 for Manchester United, so it's a bit more concerning. But yeah, for me, it isn't nothing because it probably won't even happen. It's just obviously it went viral because his name is synonymous with and it's been kept out of the press incredibly well.
Yeah, as
The full United.
It's surprising how long the case is drawn out.
we usually do so much evidence to go through, and then it's just back and forth between lawyers, like the filing, and because his team will be trying to gather as much evidence as possible. So that's why they would be still on the two, just try and gather as much
They're
information.
trying to like pull flaws in her character to say that she's a liar and then stuff's not real. It's a terrible situation for everyone involved. Like
I think I saw Benjamin Mendy got let off too. Did I read that?
I don't know.
I haven't seen that.
Surely not. There was about 9 different
Yeah.
charges on him.
Yeah.
Concerning. Prison FC.
No, I haven't heard anything on. Is Sigurdsson?
Yeah, that's also very well. His name's still not been
True.
officially released to the press. That's why.
Yeah.
But that must be a dark,
His
case.
was
child.
paedophilia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That must be a very, very dark case. Well, the thing is, if there's ever kids involved, they really stifle all the names and that, which is why I think we haven't heard a lot from Greenwood case because he's still technically, or at the time accusations were made, he was still, or they were around
Child, yeah.
I was wrong about the Mendy thing, by the way. But there hasn't been an outcome yet.
Yeah.
He got granted bail, I think that's what I saw. But that Gylfi Sigurdsson thing is wild. Like I said, you haven't heard anything, don't even know it's him. Obviously, we assume it's him.
Yeah,
He's on the squad and he's gone.
Icelandic footballer.
But
I didn't even know he was charged with something, to be honest. That's how much I didn't know about it.
I know he's been charged, but
No, you got.
There's accusations made against him.
He's definitely
he's fighting the case, that's
out
for
of-
sure.
Out of
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, on
So,
that
well-
note,
Good way to end it.
on that bombshell, yeah, like, share, subscribe, get us out there, get around the boys. Yeah, Glazers out, FSG out. Up
Once
the
again,
duck
if
now.
Todd Boehly up.
Yeah,
anything you guys want us to discuss, any topics, we've got the international break next week, so comment anything you like. We'll discuss.
we'll get around it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, cheers for listening in.
Yeah, the boys.
See you next week.